all of the images this evening on a bit of a chilly night in Covington, but it's a lot better than it's been the last 3 days. And the one thing that more than the temperatures, I think, that may come into play this evening in Lon, as you get a look at the field a little bit there, is going to be these conditions. Look, we have not had these last 2 days. The sun finally came out, but it has been a lot of rain here over the last 2 weeks. And Hannan played on this field last Friday night. That cut it up a little bit, and then with the rain and the cold and the cloudiness not really allowing anything to get dried up in time, the conditions are going to play a factor this evening.
Yeah, it's walking around on the field before the game. It is very, very soft. I mean, there's no standing water or anything like that, but extremely soft. It's going to be a slippery track. And, you know, both teams are going to run the football, so we'll see how that affects the linemen, how it affects the backs cutting in the holes and so forth. But, difficult field again, just like last week.
Right. Now, mostly on the South Shore, you find artificial turf fields. In fact, De La Salle will play on grass for only the second time this year. Week 10, Donaldsonville, they got to play on grass. They won there. But every other game they have played this year has been on turf, and I would imagine for a team that does that as much as they do it, that's a key adjustment, especially on a night like this where maybe you're trying to mess with cleats and make adjustments accordingly.
Coach Manali is concerned about that. I talked to him yesterday, and he's concerned about how his kids handle that situation, only playing Donaldsonville this year on grass. And he even went so far as to practice at a Jefferson Parish playground this week in the slop, just to kind of get his kids used to it. Knowing he wasn't going to get much work, that practice wasn't going to be great from a repetition standpoint, but just so his kids can experience it. And then he practiced on turf one of the other days so that they got a lot of work in. So he's trying to prepare his team the best he knows how, and he's been there, and he's doing a great job.
Now, I know you've had a chance to coach Ryan Manali back in your coaching days. You also had a chance to coach Scott Watney back in those days as well. Two of the more successful young coaches that we have in the New Orleans area. What has Scott and Hannan been able to do this year to put together an undefeated season?
Well, you know, I spoke with him for about 45 minutes last night, and he was always a great young man. You know, I was there 1 year, his senior year at Holy Cross was my first year there, and excellent leader, very spiritual young man, a family guy. And we talked about just some of the things he's doing with his program, and I was blown away. And, you know, he's been an underdog his whole life, and you know, he played for Holy Cross. He had a great career for us. He walked on at Northwestern State and ended up being an all-conference player for it. Right. And so I think a lot of that has to do with it. He's always had to battle to earn everything he's got, and that's what he's doing here, and doing a fabulous job. I'm really proud of him.
Hawks taking the field here. Nice little display off to our right. Crowd into it. This is a very intimate setting. I guess that's putting it a nice way. And this place is going to be packed this evening. They're still filing in. They're going to be along the railings. It is going to be a great atmosphere for football here this evening between two teams that have had a lot of success. Of course, De La Salle went to the Dome a year ago. Hannan, first undefeated season in school history this year. First district championship since they've brought the school to the North Shore after Katrina. So a great year for the Hawks this year. You know, they have been to the Dome 5 years ago. Number 4 seed, pulled off an upset in the semifinals, got here, and got to the Dome that year. So these two teams know what it takes. These two schools know what it takes to be able to get to the Dome, and we will see how this plays out. Winner of this one. Well, you look at it. You don't want to look ahead, but it's about to get tough here.
Yeah.
Semifinal against we'll say the winner of the U-High St. Louis game. Okay, that'd be the one time we mention that tonight.
Yeah.
Winner of this one's got to go to U-High next week. Lon, I think you could pretty well salt that one away there with the situation.
And that was part of my conversation with both coaches yesterday, and you know, they had a great attitude about it, and both of them said, "Hey, we're playing next week," and we've talked about it. We talked about it last year. Playing Thanksgiving week is just the pinnacle of coaching. I mean, It is such a great feeling. Waking up Thanksgiving morning, going to practice, and then going home and eat your Thanksgiving meal. I mean, it's something that it's what you strive for every year.
Cavaliers taking the field. Our friend, the late Rick Gailey, used to talk about that all the time. He says there is no better week on the high school football calendar than Thanksgiving week. If you're playing and practicing that week, you know you've had a good football season.
Yeah.
And that's what these two teams have on the line this evening. One of them is going to be practicing Thanksgiving week and playing next Friday. The other one is going to be turning into uniforms
and
this
with
weekend.
The split, it's semifinals.
Right.
So you're not only playing Thanksgiving, you're playing for the dome.
Exactly.
Which, in the normal format 5-week playoff, it's the quarters, but for this is, so good stuff.
Coin flip getting ready to happen here at the center of the field. De La Salle in the road whites, white helmets with the maroon pants. Hannan in the white helmets. They are in red from head to toe there this evening. As we get set for the toss, the Baton Rouge Association assigning the officials this evening. Jody Levine is our referee.
And senior Evan Bruyette.
Here's that Hannan won the toss. They did, and they will defer. So De La Salle's going to get the football first.
Hannan has won the toss and chosen to defer.
Seems that that's kind of a trend in football now. A lot of teams are doing, even at the pro level, you're seeing it, to defer and take the ball in the second half.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the
Our
Holy
opening
Spirit.
prayer followed by the national anthem.
Heavenly Father, we ask your blessing on all those who have gathered here for this event. We trust the youth of our world to your care. We ask your unique blessing upon these young men here tonight. We pray that they might live lives of courage and conviction. We pray that they might set and achieve a high standard of moral conduct. We pray that they might have goals that reach to heaven. Father, may they face up to disappointment, accept defeat with courage, and be truly humble in victory. We thank you for the vitality and vigor with which these young men are blessed. May we, the Archbishop Hannan Hawks, be worthy hosts for our guests. And we ask this in Christ's name, amen. Archbishop Philip Hannan, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. It's our pleasure now to introduce to you the national anthem, Junior Julia Ernst.
Outstanding rendition of the Star Spangled Banner here on a Friday night on the North Shore. Getting set for football. These two teams meeting in the playoffs for the second consecutive year, Lon. In fact, they met in the D2 quarterfinals a year ago, but it wasn't 4 against 5. That was 1 against 8. De La Salle has been the #1 seed in a Division II bracket each of the last 2 years, in fact. De La Salle won that one easily, 52-14. They met in the regular season back in 2013 and 2014, each winning on the other's home field. Hannan won at Tad Gormley in 2013. De La Salle won here in Covington in 2014. So,
yeah, Coach Watney, I talked to him about that. And, you don't like to want to talk to kids about revenge or whatever, but he said, Coach, he goes, when I saw the brackets, we started talking about it. We said, you're going to get another chance at these guys. And he wanted to let his kids know, embrace it, go out and enjoy it and compete and look forward to getting a second shot, because that's what life is all about, second shot. And those are the kind of things he's preaching to his players. And so I expect him to come out and play really fired up tonight.
So Hannan will kick this thing off to get it started.
Senior Victor Harvey on the kick.
Victor Harvey, the senior, who we'll also see at a defensive back some this evening. He will kick it off. So here we go on a Friday night in Covington, and we are underway. A little short kick towards the 25-yard line, near side. Trying to take it up the other way and slipping and falling. And the Cavaliers will start on offense at the 27-yard line. That was Rishon Porter on the return.
And we see the opening kickoff, we see the field coming into play right there.
Yep.
So
Call it the 27. That's where De La Salle will begin here. It'll be the junior Fisher Rojas at quarterback. We'll see a lot of Kendall Collins at tailback. You'll also see Montrell Johnson, Deontay LeBranch lining up back there as well.
Collins is batting a little bit of an injury too, an ankle injury, so he's been banged up all year.
Right, struggle with injuries all year long, but is a trooper and continue to hang in there. Starter on that team that reached the Dome a year ago. They'll go quickly on first down, near side. Pass is complete. That's Nick Tate, the sophomore. Get it out to about the 35, 36-yard line. Call it a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
They're going a little bit of tempo here, and that was just a little bubble screen. I can talk about that a little bit later and slow it down a little bit, but what his philosophy is.
So 2nd down 1. Now they'll go the other way, and that's incomplete. That was intended for Nixon Bernard, the sophomore. So they've come out with 4 wide receivers here.
Yeah, so we've been talking about RPOs a lot, and Coach Manali actually does PROs. They're looking to throw that bubble first, and if it's not there, then they'll run the football.
This time they'll give it away, and that will be Collins on the run, and that'll get the first down out to about the 42-yard line. Make it the 41. They'll move it back. Gain of 5 on the play. So De La Salle has the opening first down of this game, converting on the 3rd and 1. And again, they will go without a huddle. Collins gets a couple on first down.
Defensively, Hannan's not going to – we have a player down for De La Salle. But defensively, Hannan's not going to just sit in one thing and let you block them. They're going to move a lot. They're going to slant. They're going to go one gap to the next. And they are oversized, offensive line to defensive line by De La Salle. So they need to move around a lot and cause problems up front in the run game and try to cause that offensive line to not be able to execute their blocks.
Yeah, this is a De La Salle team that's 280 and 285 at the tackles, 265 and 320 at the guards, only 210 at center, but still, that's a nice size line. Against a Hannan defensive front. In fact, an entire Hannan defense doesn't list a player above 200 pounds.
No,
they've definitely going to have a size advantage there, but obviously you would think Hannan may have a bit of an advantage in terms of quickness. That looked like Collins that went down on the play. Oh, check that. That's not. That is one of the offensive linemen. That may be France, the center, and that's key when you start. Now you're talking about maybe either shuffling around the line or bringing in another center in there. Let's see exactly how they line this up.
And they really like France. He's kind of the glue that keeps them going. So that might be tough for them.
It looks like 64, Kyle Volpe, the junior, at 275. So they do pick up a little size there. But still, that's an adjustment to make right there. We'll keep an eye on that. 2nd down, 8 at the 43. Give it away. Collins bounces it outside, out near the first down marker. Let's see where they spot it. It's going to be at the Hannan 49. It looks like he's got enough for the first down, and we'll get the signal. Indeed it is.
Now, we talked a little bit about Hannan's defense and what they're going to try to do. Now, what De La Salle is going to try to do is they're going to try to out-formation you. He's got 30, 40 different formations, tackles over, unbalanced. He's going to try to get numbers and get advantages any way he can using his formations.
This time Rojas will keep it and maybe got a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, just a little power read, and quarterback read it and turned it upfield. Inside linebacker for Hannan did a great job staying home, making a tackle. Rojas isn't known to be a runner, but he will run it when he needs to. He's not a real big guy, but he will run, and you can see that in his stats. He does have some yardage this year running the football.
221 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns for Rojas. Not what Julian Gums was a year ago. Flags fly on the second down play, and Collins out near the 40, but this may be coming back.
It looks like we're going to have an illegal formation. Probably not enough men on the line of scrimmage. And that's the one of the things from, when you do move guys around all the time in your formations like Coach Manali does, sometimes you get some confusion and you don't have enough guys on the line. So
wait for the signal here. I'm talking about it here as if they're going to put it down at the 41-yard line. They may wave this off. Yep. There is no foul, so it's a gain of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, and now the flip side to that is a lot of times when you do move around, the referees
they get
confused
sure.
and communicate because they have to let each other know what the situation is, the line judge and the head linesman.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So 3rd down and 2, ball at the 41-yard line to get us to 39. They'll bring the fullback, Kendall Baker, in motion. Fake it, take a shot down the middle, wide open but overthrown in the direction of Ivan Paz. That was wide open right there, Lon. They had that play designed perfectly, and Fisher Rojas just overshot it, and now it's going to be 4th and 2.
Well, it's 4-down territory. We've been seeing that so much lately the last couple of weeks in the playoffs, and he threw that was a call knowing you were going to go for it on 4th down here. No man's land. You're going to have to score points to win this football game.
So on 4th and 2, again you see the fullback come in motion. They'll give it this way. Collins bounces, falls forward. He's got the first down, 38-yard line.
Good hard running by Collins. You don't like to see guys bounce it on that short yardage play, but he did a good job. He saw his crease on the outside, put his head down, and picked up the first down.
Well, this will be the 10th play of the opening drive of this game. Give me an idea how much tempo we've seen out of De La Salle. There's barely 2.5 minutes off the clock at this point. Collins pushing out to about the 35-yard line. Yep. Different players, Lon, but this kind of reminds me a little bit. You remember the drive a year ago in the semifinal game with these guys against St. Thomas More, and they just ground it out, just kept it going, kept the chains moving. And that game. It was all Collins and Gums in that drive.
Yeah, well, Gums was a special
exactly.
kid,
And if you were watching last night, he was a big part of that Nichols win over Southeastern. Congratulations to Tim Rebo and the Colonels on a Southland Conference championship, and they're headed back to the playoffs. This is the other running back, Montrell Johnson, going down the sideline, and he is finally pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
Great hard running, right?
The 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah, great hard running by the youngster right there. They're not doing anything fancy. They're coming at you, and that was a concern of Coach Watney if they were going to be able to kind of weather the storm early with these big guys. And it looks like they're having some success outside, not so much inside, but they're able to get outside, and that's where their big plays have come from.
First big play we've seen from the Cavaliers. They marked it short of the 10, so officially spotted at the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10. They can make a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. Quarterback will keep. Actually, that was Collins. There's a flag coming in as he went into the end zone, but hold everything. A flag at about the 5-yard line. It's going to be a hold against the Cavaliers. This will come back.
Yeah, that's tough for De La Salle because, if I'm not mistaken, he got into the end zone.
He scored there. Collins out of the Wildcat, and you will see that quite a bit tonight.
Now it is a spot foul, so
it was downfield. He'll get some of the yardage here.
Yeah.
This is going to be 1st down, and let's see where they
about
put it
15.
down. Yeah, it should be. The ball was at the 15, so it's going to be 1st and 14. So give him a gain. Give him a gain of 6 on the play, and then a 10-yard penalty. So it'll be 1st down and 14. The ball at the 15-yard line of the Hawks. Opening drive of this ball game.
Staying in the Wildcat here.
And it will be Collins once again on the carry. We'll get a couple. They're bringing Reshon Porter on that jet sweep motion there and faking it to him, and then Collins is keeping it. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Wouldn't be
spotted at the 13.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see something off of that. Maybe try to catch him with a little short pass or something.
It is Collins once again. Down to about the 9-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and long. So 3rd down and 8. Put the ball at the 9-yard line. 15th play on this drive that started all the way back at the Cavalier 27-yard line. And they'll stay with Collins out of the Wildcat. This time he gives it away to Porter, and they've defended it well.
Great job.
Nice job there by the Hawks in pursuit. And let's see how the Cavaliers are going to play this. They will indeed send the field goal unit on the field.
Now their kicker, Blake Giacone, he's had a couple issues here and there. I know last week Coach McNally said he missed 2 extra points and 2 field goals.
And he had a tough time against St. Charles Catholic, a game that
that's
we televised on
Charles
Crescent City Sports.
That's what I'm thinking.
Missed an extra point, missed a couple of field goals, one of which would have been a game winner with about 3 minutes left.
Let's
see,
right.
And again, now 26 yards, but again, remember the field conditions here. And that is Collins holding. Kick on the way. It is good. And that's a great, great start for the confidence of Blake Giacone there to get De La Salle on the scoreboard here after a very long drive. 16 plays, 64 yards. It took 5 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock. That's a nice statement to make, but if you're Hannan, you got to feel good about tightening up in the red zone and holding the 3 right there.
The penalty did help them. You get the hold and get them behind the chains, and they were able to stand their ground a little bit better there, considering that play was a touchdown in which the holding took place. So, but it is definitely positive. You didn't give up a big play, per se, and you held them to 3. So, now it's their turn on offense, and we'll see where they go. And don't be surprised to see something very similar to what you just saw. I mean, they're going to probably huddle up a little bit more than De La Salle does, but running the ball, taking your shots, throwing the ball when you can.
Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Riverlands Insurance in Luling, meeting all your insurance needs. Call Riverlands at 1-800-336-4579 or go to RIVINS.com. Our thanks to Nolan Luke and everyone at Riverlands Insurance for their support of high school football throughout this 2018 season here on Crescent City Sports. So Giacone will come on for the kickoff now. Hawks line up with 6 men up between the 45 and the 50-yard line. There's a little kick to about the 18. Thought it was a pooch at first. On the return, out past the 35, and a nice one-on-one tackle right there to bring down. That was Ezra Travers on the return out to about the 36-yard line, and that's where Hannan will begin the opening drive offensively with Brantley Taylor, the junior, at quarterback. Taylor on the year, a 62% passer, 808 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. On first down, take a deep drop, set up a screen pass perhaps, and that was incomplete. And well defended there by the Cavaliers, as it looked like they were trying to set up a screen for Brendan David, the running back there, and that was blown up by the Cavalier front 7 in the backfield.
Yeah, they just took all 4 receivers, sent them deep, try to run off the secondary, and try to slip the the back right there on the screen, but number 51 for De La Salle, Logan Guerrera, did a great job sniffing it out and very unsuccessful for Hannan's first play.
Heading to the far side, and that will be stacked up at about the 43-yard line.
That was number 42,
Yeah,
Brendan David.
David, the
running
senior,
the ball.
866 yards on the season. Leads this team, 15 rushing touchdowns. Give him 7 on that one. It's going to set up third and a long 3.
Pretty crucial down here for Hannan's offense early. You do not want to go 3 and out, considering what De La Salle did on their first offensive drive. And you want to put some pressure on De La Salle, let them know that you're here to play tonight.
So first third down of the game for the Hawks. Flags before it can get started, or was that a timeout?
I think he called timeout.
It is a timeout
Timeout on the play.
for Archbishop Hannan. So let's talk about what we've seen so far on both sides here, Lon, in terms of what these teams have come out with offensively. Of course, you try to script what you do early on. You're going to obviously show your best stuff. What have you seen from both sides here? Granted, we saw a lot more plays out of De La Salle than what we've seen 2 plays from Hannan thus far.
You saw that, De La Salle is going to rely on their guy, number 1, Kendall Collins. I mean, he did most of the work in their drive, and we expected that. Talking to Coach Watney last night, he said they were going to come out throwing the ball a little bit, try to back the De La Salle defense up a little bit so they can run better, and you saw that in the first play. They had a screen pass and then a run. Interesting to see what they're going to do here. Kind of have their choice. Wouldn't be surprised if De La Salle came out and played a little press coverage on them, get up in their face and kind of take that away. But nothing out of the ordinary from either team so far.
So a conversion down on 3rd and 3. The quarterback will try to keep it, and they've got it well defended. It'll be a loss on the play as Taylor is taken down. And it's going to be 4th down. Let's see, they will spot it back at the 43. So actually no gain on the play. They said he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was number 2, Ashton Robinson, the Mike linebacker, who was actually hurt in the very first play of the game last year in this exact game at Pan Am, and was out for the rest of the playoffs. Just came back earlier this year, and he did a great job reading that quarterback read. And
really not back until midseason. Now they will shift all over the place. Did De La Salle jump? I think they did. Hannan had guys moving all over the place, and De La Salle, I think, jumped offside, and that's going to be a first down. Well, and now we've got another flag coming in here.
That's going to be on Coach
Manali, I believe. And they'll sort all of this out right here, but
so interesting story. The special teams coordinator from Archbishop Hannan actually coached at De La Salle a couple of years ago. And when Joey Hines, the AD, came over, and the young man lived over here, the coach lived over here, and hired him on, and now he's running the special teams. And that was something Coach Manali was very concerned about. They do so many things on special teams.
It's just going to be a sideline warning against De La Salle. So that was the flag.
They kind of finished it, though, but he was very concerned about all the different things they do on special teams. He said they had 21 different punt formations.
And you saw about 9 guys go in motion right there all at one time. And De La Salle, it's of course, remember in Federation rules, as soon as you cross the line of scrimmage, the play is dead. This is well defended right here by the Cavaliers. David is brought down in the backfield. That is, I believe, Theodore Tyler, 97. Yeah. He is all over the place. He is arguably their best defender. 7 tackles for losses, 6 sacks on the year. He is a big play waiting to happen, and made one right there, a loss of 3.
Yeah, Coach Manali talked extremely highly of him. So did Coach Jack Allard, the defensive coordinator, said that he's been a motor all year long, and they depend on him to make plays every Friday night.
So now 2nd down 13 for the Hawks at the 45-yard line. Play action. Not much out there. Quarterback will put it down and maybe get a couple right there. He stood up at the 47-yard line. And we've got flags coming in from the far side. And I think this is going to be a late hit.
Yeah, whistle was blowing, and they just didn't let go of the running back, drove him into the ground. Tough call there. You know, you got young kids, teenagers playing hard, and it's playoffs, and you know that's tough either way. But you know, sometimes the officials have to set the tone early and make sure these young men know that we're going to play this thing clean and we're not going to let any of that funny business happen.
Right.
And then, you know, you might get that call early just to let them know.
Right. 2 first downs in this game for Hannan, both by penalty. And De La Salle is going to call timeout with 4:08 left in the first quarter. And, you know, we mentioned Baton Rouge Association here. You're always going to get neutral officials in the playoffs, and you sometimes it's guys you're not familiar with, and you got to get a feel for what is going on out there. But what's interesting to me, and we talked about this briefly last week, is that even when you got 2 schools from the same area, now granted this is North Shore or South Shore, they wouldn't be using same officials, but last week when we were at Belle Chase and Carver may use the same officials on the South Shore, but you've still got neutral officials coming in. Brother Martin and Rummel tonight playing over at Joe Yenny. They use the same officials all year long, but they've got to bring in neutral officials this evening. So,
you know, I really, when the LHSA went to that, I was a fan of that decision personally. You know, back in the day, it was kind of one of those things. Both head coaches, had to agree on what association to use, and it got ugly sometimes. And then if they couldn't agree, then the LHSA would step in. You know, they're just trying to eliminate any type of bias that could happen. And that's actually, I think it's a good idea. Now, you're going to get, they want to eliminate as much travel for the officials as well, and I think that's why you got the Baton Rouge tonight.
Fairly short trip for them, just 60 miles down I-12 to get here. Not even, in fact. So whistles before this one can get going.
Flag on the play.
Wait for the indication. It's going to be a false start against the Hawks. So Hannan will work from behind the sticks here. It'll be first down and 15 at the 43-yard line.
And that's something, you know, not many teams want to be behind the sticks, but I think tonight, talking to Coach Watney, that's one of those things. He really does not want to be in those situations just because they don't throw the ball a lot. They run the ball a lot. And it's just tough to pick up 15 in 3 downs when you're running the football. So, interesting what they'll do here. Maybe another screen they'll try, a little draw, something like that. Something just, you know, out of the ordinary to try to catch De La Salle off guard.
By the way, you mentioned the winner of this one meets the St. Louis U High winner. It's already 14-0 U High first quarter. I could just get that obligatory mention in there. Thrown down the middle and short. It'll be second down and 15 coming up for Hannan.
Yeah, tried to hit the middle of the field off a little bit of play action. Coach Watney did tell me when they throw the ball, they're going to do a lot of play action just because up front they're not real big and they're going to need it to kind of hold up in the protection a little bit instead of just dropping back and throwing it. But he wants to throw it when he wants to, not necessarily when he has to. And that's the kind of situations he didn't want to get in.
By the way, this one's early, but in Division 4, Ouachita Christian, the 9 seed, leads top-seeded Southern Lab 7-0 first quarter. Now, Southern Lab played last week. The 9 beat the 8, so they had to travel for their quarterfinal game. Pressure coming, but the quarterback escapes. Now throws, caught, room to run. That's going to be a first down, but there's a flag down back at the 35-yard line.
Probably have a
that
lineman
might
downfield.
be a lineman downfield,
Yeah.
exactly. Let's see what the call is.
You had another one come from the back, Judge, way back here, so I don't know if you might have some offsetting. Great improvisation by Taylor, the quarterback, escaping the rush and getting that ball off to the running back. But unfortunately, one of his linemen were downfield.
Let him sort it out here. 3:48 remaining here in the opening quarter. Catch you up on some of the scores on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard. No better place to get your scores than at CrescentCitySports.com. Speaking of low seeds at home, leading high seeds.
However, ineligible receiver downfield is accepted, forcing a.
So the flag downfield was for an ineligible man downfield, which may have been
it was the center.
Evan Burgess,
yeah, it was
the center. Yeah.
Yep.
So they'll back it up to the 48-yard line. That's right. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of those hustle penalties. You know, you got the mental ones, those pre-snap mental ones, and then you got the hustle ones. And sometimes you got to put up with the hustle ones, especially when you got a player like Burgess, who's really just a hard-nosed player and plays hard every down, and a leader and complimented by his coaches all the time. So, you know, you just have to take those sometimes. Just, you know, you'd rather get those than those mental ones.
Class 5A, the 2 and the 3 seeds both down early on the road. Landry Walker leading Destrehan 8-0. The Denham Springs leading Acadiana by the score of 16-8. As this play is going nowhere quickly. A loss of 1, it appears, on the pass play. That was to Jake Dalmato, the sophomore running back.
Yeah, they're just trying to get the ball in the hands of one of their playmakers, get him in space, and the defensive end for De La Salle, number 94, Tristan Llewellyn, he did a great job just seeing it, stringing it out, and making sure that nothing got going out there on the perimeter.
So it'll be 3rd and 21 at the De La Salle 49. I know there's not an awful lot of 3rd and 21 calls on the play card there.
No.
Just want to get what you can get right here.
Yeah, you got to play field position here.
Quarterback is looked to put it down and go, but had nowhere to go, and that was, once again, Theodore Tyler right in the middle of that. It's going to go as a loss of 1.
Yeah, not a great series there for Hannan's offense.
Yeah,
you know, they did a couple.
It was going well, and then the penalties, they got a couple of breaks on De La Salle penalties, and then their own penalties backed them up behind the chains. So punt formation now, and let's see how the Cavaliers handle this one. Do you play a little more safe? It looks like they are, as they'll shift wider.
Their linemen are 2 yards off the ball.
And punting towards the far side.
Great
It will
bounce.
roll. It will roll. It'll go down at about the 15-yard line. And that's where the Cavaliers will take over for their second possession, leading this one by the score of 3-0. So we'll get a second look at the Cavalier offense here with 1:48 to go here in the first quarter. Hannan actually kept the ball just about as long as De La Salle did, almost 5 minutes on that drive, but
It
could
probably
not
half the
convert it
plays,
into
huh?
points. Yeah, because there were some penalties there.
Yeah.
There were nine plays counting, or 8 plays, then the punt. So call it the 15-yard line. That's where the Cavaliers will get things started here. With Rojas back at quarterback, we got down there in red zone. We saw a lot of the Wildcat with Kendall Collins. And good-looking run on first down right there. We'll get out close to the line to gain.
Yeah, that was a great push by the De La Salle linemen, and they really took Hannan's lineman for a little bit of a ride there, and really no contact on the running back till he was about 5 yards downfield.
Yeah, call it a gain of 9 at 2nd and 1. They'd be at the 25-yard line, and that play was snuffed out in the backfield there. Nicely defended that time by the Hawks, and Collins is dropped for a loss of 1. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, that looked like Carter George's, one of the guys Coach Watney was highlighting to me last night. Said he's one of their bookend ends that they really depend on all season.
11th tackle for loss this season. Movement up front, and there's a flag. Let's see what the call is. Was there movement on the offensive line, or was it on the defensive line? Of course, you got guys pointing both ways. We have a 7-man crew this evening. We talked about it last week.
Yeah,
it was
we only had
5 in the
6.
first round.
Oh, 5, yeah.
They'll wave off the flag.
Well, I think what it looked like happened was
The defensive lineman moved, and then
the umpire thought he jumped. The linesman didn't throw the flag, and the umpire did, that's not his call. He should have never made that call.
Right, it's a linesman's call to see him break the point of the line of scrimmage. Give it away to Collins. Room to run, and first down for the Cavaliers right at about the 30-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 yards on the play. So we have seen already now 12 carries for Collins in the first quarter. He's a workhorse.
Coach Manali made no bones about it that he was their guy, and they're gonna ride his shoulders tonight.
Give it away to Collins again on first down. He's a little guy at 5'10", 190 pounds. He can get in there behind some of those big uglies like Keith Jackson used to call them, and find some space. He'll get 6 there. It'll be second down 6, ball at the 36-yard line as the first quarter winds down here. It's Collins again. Out near the chains, and I think he's got enough for the first down. He does at the 41-yard line as the clock stops for a moment with 9.8 left here in the quarter. Let's see if Ryan Manally's troops try to run another play before the quarter ends.
I don't think they will. I would be surprised if they did, unless they just going fast enough that they get it off.
The good news is, by the way, I think we've got France back in there at center as well. They will give it away, and that is Collins once again, who get it out to the 45-yard line on the final play here of the first quarter. A quarter that really De La Salle has tried to establish their identity on offense, and they've done a pretty good job of it, but just a 3-0 lead at this point. 12 minutes in the book, second quarter action coming your way. Right after this, you're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Mr. Charles Baird was born and raised in Rome, New York. Coach Baird received his bachelor's degree from St. John Fisher College in Rochester, New York. He's married to Nancy Brunner Baird, and they have 4 children and 5 grandchildren, with another one on the way, and their puppy Sophia. He has served our country for the past 19 years in the Navy and is a current member of the Seabees. Coach Baird has been teaching for 20-plus years and coached varsity football for 5 years and girls varsity basketball for 9 years. Coach Baird is currently back on the court again, coaching his granddaughter, Adriana, 5- and 6-year-old co-ed basketball team at Coquille. Thank you, Mr. Moran and Mr. Baird, for your service to our students and to our country.
A wallet has been turned into the press box. Gerald Matthews, please report to the press box to retrieve your wallet.
So the first quarter line was pretty much the Kendall Collins show. 15 carries for 69 yards. Keeps that pace up. He'll carry it 60 times tonight. Flags before this one can even get started.
1, 2, 3.
Is it legal participation? I think they might have. Nope, false start.
I was looking, thought maybe Hannan might have had too many players, but well, that might be a break for Hannan's defense right here. You know, now you kind of got De La Salle behind the chains. You got to stiffen up a little bit and try to make him punt the ball.
Out past the 45 to the 46. This is going to make this a little more manageable on third down. And that was, I believe, Rojas on the carry that time.
Yeah, it was a quarterback counter. He faked to the run back and had the H-back and the guard pulling. Just a straight counter tray, pulling 2.
So third down 5 with the ball at the 46-yard line. Won't see the Cavaliers huddle much. By the way, it is Montreal Johnson in the backfield alongside Rojas at the moment. Timeout De La Salle before this one gets started. Ryan Manally didn't like
play
something
clock
there.
was running
about
down.
to run down.
Yeah.
Gives us a chance to remind you while we have a moment that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rock and Bowl. Rock and Bowl now with 2 locations on South Carrollton Avenue in New Orleans and Jefferson Street in downtown Lafayette. See a full schedule of entertainment at rockandbowl.com. Hey, spend your Thanksgiving weekend at Rock and Bowl in New Orleans with the Bucktown All-Stars next Friday and Flow Tribe next Saturday night. And, of course, every Tuesday it's the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club Luncheon presented by Home Bank. Every Tuesday at noon. Terrific lunch, great set of speakers. You like sports, you like some fun, some fellowship. Come on out and join us. Hey, it's a holiday week next week. Bring the kids if they're off of school. It's
a great venue
it
too.
Is. No doubt.
Johnny
no
Blanchard, Mr. Johnny Blanchard. gotten a great thing going over there. And, moving out of, from down the street. But that place is awesome.
It is. And, we enjoy being there. And, of course, you can't make the luncheons. You can always watch the videos of the speakers at CrescentCitySports.com. We remind you of that as well, because it's a lot of times you get news and great insights coming out of there. Robert Meacham spoke last week. He had some great analysis comparing the 2009 Super Bowl champs to the 2018 Saints. Some really good stuff.
Big play here.
3rd down and 5 for the Cavaliers. Baker, the fullback, comes in motion. Line up behind the guard there. They'll bring it back this way. Johnson's trying to get the edge. Doesn't have room to run. Broke a tackle. Still on his feet, but didn't get very far. Might have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage. Nice job of pursuit there by a host of red shirts.
It was led by number 7, Corey Robinson from Hannan. He was in the mix there, coming up from his corner spot.
Robinson, 22 tackles on the season. He's a guy. They've managed to weave in some sophomores into this rotation on defense, since this season has started, and that's been it's been a big help for the Hawks. They have forced 27 turnovers on the year. I think they had 6 last week in their first round win over Lusher. So the Cavaliers punting it away on 4th down. Angling it towards the far sideline. We'll get a friendly hop, and this will roll dead inside the 30 and out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So that's where the Hawks will take over.
So one of Coach Waddy's points he made to me last night was, one of the things he felt very important was they had to weather the storm, and I think they've done that. They got through the first quarter, even though De La Salle has kind of dominated a little bit with possession and yards. They've weathered the storm. It's only 3-0, and they're getting the ball here to on their second possession, and hopefully they can look at some things and get some things shored up and try to get a little bit better drive going than last time.
Call it the 28 to start the drive here for this Hawk offense with Brantley Taylor, the junior, calling the signals. That'll be Brendan David on the carry. Give him maybe 3 on 1st down to the 31. And it's 2nd down and 7.
It's so important for Hannan to get positive plays every time they snap the ball, and we saw that on the last drive. They just can't get in long yardage situations. It's not what they do. They're used to being in the 2nd and 7s, 3rd and 3s, those kind of situations. So every down tonight is important for their offense to do that.
2nd down and 7 for the Hawks at the 31. Going far side, and that was caught.
Taylor's pass is complete to Gode.
Jacob Gode is the leading receiver this season with 24 catches for 329 yards. We'll get 5 on that one, and it'll be 3rd down and 2, ball at the 36-yard line. So let's see if Hannan can convert a 1st down here on their own merit. They've got 2 first downs thus far. They've both been by penalty.
You see that right there. They threw the ball because they wanted to, not because they had to, and they had some success. So we'll see if it's 3rd and 2 what they're going to do here.
Give it away, coming back this way, and well defended, but a nice second effort that time. And David will get the 1st down.
Good hard run in there. I mean, that was they had it sniffed out, De La Salle's defense, and he was able to kind of put his foot in the ground, get vertical, and make somebody miss and lean forward, and it was that final lean that got him the 1st down, just about a half a ball.
Yep, gain of 3. Call it the 39-yard line. That's where the Hawks will play 1st and 10. We tick under the 9-minute mark here of the 2nd quarter. De La Salle, if you're just joining us, drove 16 plays on the opening possession of the game. Got down inside the 10, but had to settle for a field goal. That's been all the scoring we've seen thus far. 3-0 Cavalier lead. Taking a shot down the field and incomplete off the hands of his receiver. Looked like Ezra Travers right there.
Yeah, good call by Hannan there. Again, throwing it when they want to. 1st down, play action. Had a guy went right through his hands, I mean, if that's a completed pass, that's a big play for them. It would have been about 15, 20-yard gain right there.
All right, it's a 1st down. Would have been. Now it's 2nd down, 10 at the 39-yard line.
But that's the chances you take. If you're gonna throw it on 1st down, you got to be able to take that the possibility that it's going to be incomplete. Now you're behind the chains, which is not what you want to be. So, unfortunately, one of those might have to pass it again to get back on schedule.
2nd and 10. Run a little draw play this time. Well defended. I think Robinson was the first guy in there. Number 2, Ashton Robinson
Shamar
led the
Killeen
charge.
was in there too. Or
There is
Keelan, sorry,
there was
Shamar
a flag.
Keelan.
Yeah, there's a flag. Let's see what this is about, but like the play went for no gain. Officials discussing it. In fact, they've got to shoo away a couple of defenders there trying to stick their nose in the conversation. It's about the 3rd time we've seen this already, Lon. Where
Yeah,
you get the flag thrown and then there's then there's a long conference to discuss it. We've seen a couple of flags waved off already.
Yeah.
Still talking about it here.
You know, you like to see them get together, get it right. I mean,
Well, of
you
course,
want to see that.
Well, it may take another minute. You're right. These games are too important. Somebody's going to win in advance. Somebody's going to lose and go home tonight, and you want to make sure that it's not something that's being determined. Let's see now. We get the call. It's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against Hannan, and a dead ball,
Offset.
unsportsmanlike conduct against De La Salle. The flag's offset. So after all of that.
Well, I think,
no gain in the third down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, and again, I've been out of the coaching business for a couple of years, but it looked like they were trying to get numbers because is there a rule, high school, that 2 unsportsmanlike and you get ejected? I don't know if that's something they've changed over the last couple of years. But, you know, again, you want to get it right. And for the kids' sake, you want these officials to get it right. And if it takes them having to meet to do it, then I'm all for it.
So 3rd down 10, the ball at the 39-yard line. Nowhere to go with the football. Now he'll put it down and run and get the first down. Nice heads-up play by Brantley Taylor. Had well covered in the secondary by De La Salle, and Taylor had the wherewithal to find the seam and gain 15.
Looks like we got somebody, the trainers came on the field. Looks like number 2 that they're looking at, Ashton Robinson. You know, he's just getting back from that injury last year. And they actually put him in at the Mike linebacker just so he didn't have to run as much and kind of stay inside the box because he played Will last year.
And they had him on a pitch count early on and kind of built him back up.
Yes, they did.
You know, and about week 8, week 9 is when they finally let him go.
Yeah, because I don't think he got back on the field till about halfway through the season.
Right. Yeah. So you're talking. It was almost a 10-month injury here, maybe 11. Yeah. But was a bad knee. In fact, I think it was all 3 ligaments in his knee. That is well defended there by the Cavaliers. Not much going there. That was Jude Milford, I believe, in the middle of that, a freshman who has been one of the top tacklers on this team. You know, one thing. Really, since Ryan Manali has been at De La Salle on, is that you've had young players step in, play early, and make an impact. And that's not something you're starting to see it a little bit more on the high school level. You know, it used to be, you know, when you and I were in school, you did your time in junior varsity and stuff like that. You finally got a chance to play varsity football as a junior. But really, maybe more so than anyone else, De La Salle has had impact freshmen and sophomores over the last few years.
Yeah, and this year, I'll wait till after this play.
Again, that is well defended right there. As David may have made it back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and Robinson was right back in there too. But this year, he little of that's been out of necessity because he has been, the injury bug has hit him really hard this year. We talked about that yesterday. So a lot of young kids have had to play because of other kids getting hurt throughout the season. But yeah, it's a good thing and a bad thing when you have young kids playing because you know, you get them ready but at the same time, they're young.
If you get them out there and they succeed and they get the experience, you get a situation like what happened a year ago when De La Salle got to the Dome. They had 7 3-year starters on that team last year, and that's not something you see very often. On 3rd and 10, they'll take a shot down the field, and that is caught for the first down. That is twice in a row now that Hannan has converted on 3rd down and long, and that was Gode on the catch.
Yeah, it was just a simple curl route, curl flat. Just find that zone behind the outside linebacker, getting out to the flat in front of the corner. A little sprint out, get them out of the pocket, but you see that. Coach Whiting knows that they're going to struggle at times tonight holding up in protection just because they're undersized. And so what do? Get your quarterback out the pocket when that happens.
So 1st and 10, put it at the 34-yard line of the Cavaliers. Deepest penetration of the night for Hannan. That is batted down at the line. Look like 95, I believe. Let's see. I'm trying to read that number. I think it might have been 96. Jamarian Peterson has been, in that rotation on the defensive line and has made some impactful plays. The 6'2", 225-pound sophomore.
I'm going to say this, that they tried to throw a hitch out there to number 23 for Hannan, the wide receiver.
Let's go to again.
But I'm going to tell you right now, if they run a hitch and go, it's there because that corner bit hard. If he just does a little stutter step, little pump fake, and take off, it might be a touchdown.
3 wide receivers, 1 tight end here. And that's David out to about the 32-yard line. So once again, 3rd down and long. 8 to go this time for the Hawks. They've converted on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10. Yeah, you're right. It is now we're into 4-down territory here.
Absolutely.
But they have converted now 3 times on 3rd down in this drive, and the last 2 have been 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 10. Now it's 3rd and 8, 12th play of this drive for the Hawks.
He's going to run out of time. They're at 10 on the play clock. Boy, that hitch and go is looking ripe down here.
Got it off at 2. Handled the high snap. And you call it. They're going down the field, and that ball is incomplete.
Good coverage by the corner there. Great coverage. And he's very outmanned size-wise.
Yeah. I believe that was Nakia Ely, the senior defensive back.
Like.
Yep.
His,
nice job. You're right. Ely is 5'8", and you look out there and Gode is 6'2", so it's that's a big size advantage for the Hawks. And
I like the call though.
Yeah,
no, I like the call. It wasn't really a hitch and go, but it was just take off and throw it up to your big guy, and the De La Salle corner. Ely, he did a great job.
4th and 8. Possession now coming up here for the Hawks. We've had the football here nearly 6 minutes. Movement up front. Wait. You got action both ways here. Let's see what they call it.
I think defense jumped first.
The good news is for the Cavaliers that if they did, it's not a first down because it's 4th and 8. But let's see which way they're going. Again, a conference to talk about this because there was movement on both fronts.
Yeah, I think the defense got in first. But we'll see. It's been interesting with the officials tonight, to say the least.
Got a dead ball. It is offside against the Cavaliers. So 4th down coming up. Now make it 4th and 3 at the 27-yard line.
De La Salle sideline's going to have to be careful. They've already gotten a sideline warning. The next one's going to be a 15-yard penalty. So you don't want to hurt your defense right here because you're still in 4th down. It's still 4th down. I mean, it's 2 or 3, but it's still 4th down.
It's a short 3 right here too. The ball is, I think it's nose of the back of the football touching the 27-yard line. The line to gain is just inside the 25. Now we'll see some motion. Now they'll reline up here. Going under center.
Jet sweep.
Jet sweep this time.
Nope.
And they well defended it here. And that was once again Number 96, Peterson, coming in there, kind of setting the edge that time and really blowing that play up for a loss of 4 on that attempt to Dawson Millen, a guy who's played all over the field for the Hawks this year.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. You got to set the edge, and the defensive end for De La Salle just did a much better job setting the edge for the defensive side of the ball. That's the key block. If you can get that block right there on that 5-tech by the tackle, then you got a chance to get that speed sweep out there, and the defensive end did a great job.
So De La Salle takes over at its 31-yard line with 4:27 left in the half. Now remember, Hannan gets the ball to start the third quarter. Both teams have only had the ball twice tonight. We've seen some extended possessions here on. And if you're Ryan Manale, you got to be thinking about, hey, find a way to get a score here before the half. Get away on first down. And a gain of a couple that time for, I believe that was Collins on the run.
Yeah. Actually, no, it was.
No, it is Collins.
No, it was
one.
Collins.
That's
You're
one.
right.
Yep.
You're right.
Give him 1 on the play. The 16th carry of the night for Collins. He had 15 in the first quarter. Second down and 9. Give it away to Collins once again. Pushing hard, legs churning, out past the 35 to about the 36-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and a long 5 coming up.
Short gain. Instead of a 3rd and 5.
So let's see what Coach Manale goes with here on 3rd down and 5. Ball at the 36-yard line.
Rojas is coming out of the game, so it's going to be some kind of wildcat set. Got plenty of time on the play clock.
Here come jet sweep action. Flags all over the place. That was seemingly.
That play was ugly from the start.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's not
just
very much out of sync.
Rhythm,
Start,
yeah,
yep.
no rhythm at all offensively there. They just moving all over the place. Just very unsure. It looked like what they wanted to do. Rojas coming back in the game now.
Yeah, now on 3rd and 10, it's clearly a passing situation here. You would think. You certainly have to present the appearance of pass. This clock ticks under the 3-minute mark here. And you would think of the play clock, you take this thing down as much as you can, because if you do have to give it back away, you want to give them as little time as possible. And we've got whistles. Now we've got a sideline warning against Hannan.
On Hannan.
So each side has been warned now in terms of sideline
next one's going to
infractions.
be 15 on both teams, and that could come into play now. You don't want that something like that determining the outcome of this game, especially as close as it is right now.
No doubt. 3rd down 10. Rojas rolling, throwing, and that is incomplete. It was intended for Ivan Paz, the wide receiver. Couldn't hold on to it, trying to make the catch there and get his feet down, but couldn't come up with it. It's 4th down.
Another good stop by the Hannan Hawk defense. They're scrappy. You look at it, that's the best way to describe them when they're not big at all. They're athletic, they play hard, and they're just scrappy. They get to the ball, and sometimes they get blown off the ball by these big linemen, but the rest of those guys, those other 10, are rallying behind that one guy and making tackles.
Tyler Mitchell, the punter, stands back at the 16-yard line. He's a good one right here. Try to flip the field a little bit. And that one's not bad. Fair catch is called at the 42-yard line. So the Hawks will start with their best field position of the evening.
That was the first punt that Dallas had. Hannan only had one back. This time they put 2 back there, which was a really smart call by Hannan's special team coordinator. But you basically take the roll out of it. The last time the ball bounced and they got about another 10, 12 yards out of it. This way, catch it right on the spot. You got decent field position. You got 2:17 left, 2 timeouts.
Time to try to
like
do
I said,
something.
Watch out for that hitch and go, man.
Yep.
I think if they run it, they got something here. You know, Coach Watney said he was going to pull out all the stops tonight. So if you got it in the bag, it might not be a bad time to use it right here.
So from the 42, Hawks take over. Taylor, give it away. Got about 4 yards on first down. That's as good a first down play as really we've seen.
Yeah. It's not going to get
David.
you points, though, with only 2 minutes to go.
No,
I'm not saying you want to wing it all over the ballpark, but you got to do something. You want to get some points here and try to double it up.
Yeah, let's look at what they've done on first down. Incomplete, loss of 3, a penalty, gain of 3, taking a shot down the field, and that is caught.
And it's going to be a touchdown. Wow. Wow.
There's Dawson Millen.
Wow.
54 yards. We got flags back at the 24-yard line.
That's going to be pass interference on the defense. And decline it, and it's a touchdown. What a throw and catch right there. To fight off that, he was being interfered all the way down the field. To fight it off and still come up with that catch and score a touchdown.
And they're talking about
awesome.
they're talking about it again. That's, you know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to talk about. I mean, it was defensive pass interference all the way.
Hannan's lining up for the extra point here. Now they're talking to Scott Watney.
I wonder if there's a take it on the extra point or kickoff situation. Yeah, he's going to take it on. If it's a penalty on the defense on a score and play, you can take it on the kickoff.
It was defensive holding.
So
they will take it on the kickoff. So 54 yards on the pass play from Taylor to Millen. And just like that, we've not seen a lot of big plays in this game. Okay? Not seen not seen things get very vertical at all, but there you go. 54 yards on the touchdown, and you got to defend this.
Yeah, some more stuff that Coach Manali talked about, all the polecat and everything they do on the extra points. I mean, you got to prepare for it. You got to practice it, and it's just one of those things.
Make sure you got your numbers. Yeah, we did the John Curtis Rummel game on CST 3 weeks ago, and Curtis scored twice on 2-point conversions, getting the numbers.
Yeah.
Point after is good, and Hannan leads this one 7-3 with 1:45 left in the half.
And they're going to be kicking off from the 50 because they get the 10 yards on the kickoff.
So 2 plays, 58 yards. It took just 32 seconds after 2 drives that didn't produce anything, that ate up 4:55 and 5:47. There they go, 32 seconds to get a touchdown.
Well, you were in the middle of talking about how, the kind of their inability on first down throughout the game, and then while you're doing that, they chunk one deep down the sideline for a touchdown.
Now let's talk about this, especially with the conditions being what they are. Okay, you've got a chance to kick off. They put it down at the 40. Now they're going to
mark it
call
off,
the holding penalty. They'll move it up 10 yards
onside
to midfield.
Kick? Why not?
Do you pooch? Do you onside?
Onside.
Well, the thing, especially with the conditions being what they are, you get somebody to slip. You never know. You might be able to steal a possession before halftime, and even if you don't, well, get the ball maybe the 35, 40-yard line. Is that a risk worth taking?
Look, like I said, Coach Watney told me last night, this is a game we got to come up. We got to throw it all out there. We got to pull out all the stops. That's pulling out all the stops. Would I question him doing it? Absolutely not. Would some of these people in the stands question it? Maybe so. But no, why not? De La Salle hasn't done anything in the passing game to really scare you a whole lot that they could go down and score quick. So, why not take a shot here? Take a shot at, maybe pooch it right there in the middle, And what do I know? He kicks it into the end zone.
And De La Salle will start at the 20-yard line.
Well, the logic to not do it is, hey, you got a chance to double it up, like we've always talked about. You just score right before the half. You can get a stop and then get the ball first to start the second half and double up your score. Right. So, look, you can't coach with emotion sometimes. You want to be emotional and you want your kids to see emotion, but sometimes you can't coach that way. And you got to keep a level head and be smart about it. Probably the best move was to kick it deep right there.
So let's see what De La Salle will do here with 1:45. They've got 80 yards in front of them.
Hannan's probably going to be in a 2-safety look, 2-deep safety. Let him get anything underneath short. Nothing big behind you.
They'll go short on first down, and it's caught. Nice broken tackle and out near the first down marker.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Keeps the clock running. You're down to 132. De La Salle only has one timeout. Just make tackles.
On 2nd and 1, give it away. They'll get the first down, it looked like. Yeah, they'll get it. That'll stop the clock to move the chains with 1:17 to go.
And you see what that play did for this team in red right here, the Hannan Hawks. I mean, they are jacked up.
And
they're
players,
excited.
The players, their fans, yeah, no doubt about it.
It's completely changed the momentum of the game.
From the 30, Rojas looking to set up a screen.
Great
and
job.
It's well defended by the Hawks. Collins on the reception, but he lost yardage on the play. That looked like Carter George's on the tackle, 45.
Yeah. One of the guys, Coach Watney, he loves his two defensive ends, Carter George's and Fred Rabensteiner. Those are his guys that he said they set the tone for this defense every night.
2nd down and 12 at the 28. And the quarterback kept it on the read option that time and lost yardage. Loss of 2 for Rojas. And as the clock ticks under 35 seconds, I think you might be to the point now where Coach Manali, we got a timeout coming here, probably by Hannan. We do. 31.6 seconds left. So Hannan's got one timeout left. Now you run a 3rd down play. If it's inbounds, you're Hannan, you use your timeout. Maybe at least take a shot at a punt block right there.
Yeah, I think
Although of course they just popped a big play on offense, but still it's a little bit different situation going into halftime.
It is, and you're right. If you do get a stop, if the clock doesn't stop on its own, you get a stop. Whatever. If they went into this game, they had something probably they thought they could block upon or at least get close. You do it, and you know if it's late and they get 15, you know it's still not putting you in a bad position because of the field position here. So. Yeah, in the way we talked about the special teams coordinator for Hannan, he's got something in his book, you know, because that he is the special teams coordinator for Hannan. That is what he does. He doesn't coach a position; he coaches special teams. So those guys are going to have a binder full of stuff every night.
Line to get is the 40-yard line. De La Salle finds itself back at its 26.
I think if you De La Salle, you throw something safe here. You really don't want an incompletion. You want them to make them use their timeout.
Or you give it away. You let Collins run it off the right side,
which is fine. Let the clock run.
That's going to take some time off the clock. And the clock is still running. In fact, inside 20 seconds, maybe he's going to let it just go ahead in here.
I would have thought for sure he would have taken that timeout. De La Salle's 4th down, and they're speeding up.
And they're going to try and run a play here right before.
Oh, they moved.
Well, no, we got a timeout. We got a timeout. Ryan Manali with
the left tackle.
They called timeout. It's really about 4 or 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Let's see if they
make
an adjustment here on the clock. Well, I tell you what. Here's the thing. The half is going to end. So you take a shot and make them defend something if you've got some kind of
timeout.
Well, but again, it's not the half's going to end on the play. So no matter what.
Yeah, you hope.
Well, 4 or 5.
Let's see. Fumble.
Let's see. Well, of course, a lot of things can happen. There's no doubt about that. But if you've got anything in there, you don't do anything crazy like lateral the ball across the field or anything like that. But I certainly think you maybe take a shot and try to throw one down and see what happens. Or perhaps you just kneel it out here. I don't know. Maybe they get a second thought.
Yeah.
They've reset the clock, as you see on your screen there, to 3 seconds exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, this
You're
is the
gonna
last
look.
play.
It's going to be the last play.
Unless something really weird happens, it's going to be the last play.
Yeah. The only way Hannan gets to snap the football here is if they get a turnover and then there's a penalty on De La Salle after they possess the ball. That's really the only way anything would happen here. So let's see what the Cavaliers come out and run here. They're coming out in Wildcat. And look, they feel like maybe they can block it up and get there. Now you see how safe that Hannan is playing safely with 5 guys at least 10 yards back. Yep. And it's Collins, 35, 40, 45, midfield. The ball's out, and Hannan recovers at the 44-yard line. That was the thing you worried about, is possibly a turnover, maybe a scoop and score situation. But I think they did the right thing by falling on the football.
Yeah, no, because you don't know. That ball can bounce so many funny ways. You try to scoop it up, you kick it around, one of their guys picks it up and takes it to the house, and then, you're kicking yourself. So, no, secure the football. You're getting it to start second half. We got us a ball game here.
We do. We're at halftime. By the way, coming up here in just a moment, I had a chance earlier this week to visit with Steve Shepard from here at Archbishop Hannan, a guy that we both know. You had a chance to work with Steve. Work with Steve at Holy Cross. I was at Tulane when Steve played baseball, so we go both go way back there. But Steve here is a big part of the administrative team here. Works in admissions, works in institutional advancement. So he's a very active partner. A lot of great things going on here. By the way, he'll talk about it as well. Congratulations, by the way, to the Hannan volleyball team for winning a state championship last Saturday. And look, they've got the lead here with a chance maybe to get to the semifinals in football. And we'll talk about how important athletic success is. So let's take a listen to Steve Shepard here at Archbishop Hannan. Here at halftime, visiting with Steve Shepard at Archbishop Hannan. And Steve, it's been a long time since we've had a chance to catch up. And let's first of all start with what's happening here on this campus. A lot of people probably on the South Shore haven't had a chance to maybe set foot on this campus that has kind of evolved post Katrina with Hannan moving from St. Bernard Parish up here to St. Tammany. It's kind of a well-kept secret, perhaps, but obviously based on enrollment numbers, it's not that well-kept a secret.
Well, Lenny, thanks for coming in over here tonight. We are really doing very well. It's a great time. It's a great year to be a Hannan Hawk. We just got a lot of good things going on right now. We thank y'all for coming and doing the games today. We got a football team that just won the district championship. It was the third time in their history. First time in our school's history we went undefeated. Our volleyball team just won the state championship last weekend. So athletically, we got a lot of things rolling, and our enrollment has been going up steadily for the last 5 years. We're a school, we just realized this year, we're the largest co-ed Catholic school in the Archdiocese now. We're just under 620 students. We've been steadily rising ever since our campus was built in 2008. Students started to move in. We had other buildings that just came in. The football field that you're looking at, soccer field, opened up in 2012, and our new strength and conditioning facility opened up 2 years ago. So we've been on a rise for quite some time. Right now it's admission season. We have people turning in applications, and we're just doing very well. And there's a lot of good things going on here in Covington at Archbishop Hannan.
How hard was it to kind of get this going? And then obviously I know so many people relocated to the North Shore post-Katrina. I guess maybe that was almost a built-in advantage to be able to get things rolling on this end the last few years?
It really has been. This facility, our campus, though, when it came down, this was really a very booming area. And right here, we located off of I-12 and Highway 1077. We have a lot of growth just coming in this area alone. Archbishop Hannan always had a very good reputation, a very good name since it was founded in 1987. Ran very well, founding principal John Sirio. Right now, we're into our 9th year with our current administration, Father Charles Latour, and we've seen our enrollment go from the high 200s back in '06 when we first came over to Covington and we had temporary buildings to now right under 620. And, we're a school, we know what we do well, and being a mid-sized Catholic co-ed is kind of our niche here in West St. Tammany. And because of that, we're actually not trying to grow any larger. We've been taking in the same number of 8th graders and 9th graders for the last 4 years now, and that's kind of where we want to stay. There's Class 3A for all our sports. We kind of think that being mid-sized but still offering all the clubs, we have over 25 clubs, and we have 23 varsity co-ed sports. That's everything sanctioned by Louisiana High School Athletics. So we like to think of it as kind of having the best of both worlds. Got a nice small family, teacher, student interaction, everybody's known on campus, but yet you have the opportunity to participate in multiple clubs multiple sports, and that's what we like about our enrollment here at Hannan.
Someone who spent time in college athletics personally, you played college athletics. I'm a big believer that athletics is the front porch to any institution of higher learning. The success in football and volleyball this year, how do you feel like that has impacted the recruiting admissions process this fall in terms of your school's visibility?
Well, I tell you what, it actually started years ago because our football team had an incredible record last year. Our volleyball team, the last 4 years, this group's a senior now, since they were freshmen, have been to the state championship twice and to the semifinals. It just kind of coincides with admissions in the Archdiocese of New Orleans that it's all in the fall. So when we have recruits coming in, when we have people coming in to spend a half a day here, which we call our shadow program, there's a lot of students that are interested in meeting the volleyball coach, meeting all our football coaches when we have our open house annually, which is in usually about the third week of October. That's usually a big draw. They also have sports camps over the summer times, and kids know, families know when they're coming in here, they're just not coming into, one particular sport, but these coaches run it as a program. And it starts down on that 8th grade level, and they do such a great job of including everybody and making it into a sport that they want to go ahead and be a part of. And, for our enrollment, we have a large amount of students that are getting involved in the athletics here at Hannan.
What's next for this school here? What is the next step in terms of the growth of Archbishop Hannan?
I would really think the next steps, and we're seeing it right now, is in the athletic success that our teams are having. Going to further rounds in the playoffs, looking at district championships, getting to the state championships, whether it's runner-up or winning. We're building our coaching staff. We're building for success into the future. The academics were in place years ago. We've been seeing a growth in all of our ACT scores. We've seen a growth in the number of millions of dollars that our seniors are getting, applying to colleges all around the country. We've seen that growth, and now we're catching up with the athletic portion in all the sports. We're just really very high on what the school's got to offer and what kids can take part of. So by the time that they graduate, they have those experiences just not only being on a team, but being in a very successful program.
Steve, thanks for your time here and at halftime, and best of luck to everyone here at Archbishop Hannan as this is really a jewel here on the North Shore. It just continues to grow and continues to succeed.
Okay. Lenny, thanks a lot. It was a joy seeing you again, and good luck with the broadcast, and thanks to Crescent City Sports for coming and including us.
Once again,
we welcome you back here to Hawk Field. Our thanks to Steve Shepard. Let's take a look at the numbers here in the first half, Lon. And you look at those numbers, and you would think that De La Salle's winning this football game right now with the edge that they have in yardage. And remember, of those yards that Hannan has, 54 of them came on one snap of the football. So that's a huge number there to keep in mind, that really they've popped the one big play, and that's enabled them to get the lead at this point.
Yeah, the Hannan defense has they've given up some yards, but they kind of that bend don't break mentality. De La Salle's gotten down there a couple times, and all they've given up is a field goal and the big play. But you know what? The big plays count just as much as those long drives do, and that's the difference in the ball game right now. Is Hannan got to stop, got good field position, and let it rip, and now that's where we are, 7-3.
Well, let's catch you up on some scores around the state and our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard. No better place to get your scores than at CrescentCitySports.com. Certainly invite you to go check them all out on the scoreboard here. Starting 5A, Destrehan on the road, having to go to Berman tonight, leading Landry Walker 28-20 second quarter. Yeah, it is tough. Terrebonne, I'm surprised at this one a little bit, Lon. Terrebonne taking it to Ouachita Parish, 27-0 at halftime. I'm a little surprised. I thought that might be a closer game there, a 7-10 matchup. Zachary on the road, that's 6 against the 22, leading Hanville 14-6 at halftime.
The Hanville seed's so misleading.
Of course it is.
Especially when they got the Robeson kid back.
No doubt. No doubt. Now, what's interesting is the other game in that piece of the bracket there. Denham Springs They are the 19 seed, I believe. Yeah, they won at Sam Houston last week, leading 3 seed Acadiana 23-16 at halftime. John Ehret, that's as good a team as we saw all year, leading Houghton 30-6 at halftime.
Coach Marcus Scott,
job.
another guy I coached him too.
And the winner of that one plays Slidell or East Ascension. It's Slidell on the road leading East Ascension right now, 10-7 at halftime. If Slidell and Ehret win, that game is in Slidell next Friday night. That could be really big. Yeah.
EA, I mean, Slidell's been putting some points on the board, so to hold them to 10, Slidell to 10 and a half, that EA's playing some good defense.
No doubt. Alexandria and Ruston tied 20-20 in the second quarter. Winner of that one, looks like you're facing West Monroe. West Monroe leading Captain Shreve 40-0.
They're still good?
Second quarter. Yeah, they're good. They're good. 4A, Warren Easton leading Brobridge 25-0 second quarter. Leesville over Assumption 20-14 at half. We saw Bell Chase a week ago. They're hanging in there with St. Martinville in a 3-14 game.
That's another tough place to play there.
14-7 in second quarter. And it's, I think they're excited once again at St. Martinville about football. They haven't.
They've been down.
They've been down, and they're back. They're undefeated right now. Neville leading Pearl River 17-3 at halftime. Lakeshore over Livonia 21-7 second quarter. Bastrop on the road leading Westgate 18-7. That's a higher seed having to travel because Westgate pulled the upset last week. Speaking of higher seeds having to travel and winning, how about Carr leading Tioga 35-0 on the road second quarter. And they'll be at home next week with a win, and of course they win there, they'll be at home in the semifinals as well. Wassman leading Eunice 6-0 in the second quarter. That is that's in 3A. That is an 18 leading a 2. How about that? Madison Prep leading Caldwell Parish 6-0. That game is at halftime. Madison Prep, the 26, leading the 10 seed there. That side of the bracket has got a chance to blow up there if those scores hold up. That's pretty interesting stuff. Let's look at some of the locals so we don't we get through all of these before the end of the half. North Webster leading St. James 13-7 at halftime. Amite leading East Feliciana 14-0. That's a second quarter score. St. Helena trailing Northeast 6-0. That is in the second quarter. Vidalia and Independence 14-14 in the second quarter. That's an 8 against the 24. Independence won on the road and pulled an upset last week. So that's the Independence a 24 seed right there with a chance to maybe do something there. Manny's the 1 seed in 2A. They lead Rayville 31-18 in the second quarter. West St. John opening up the playoffs. They had a bye last week. They're leading Homer in the second quarter 35-0, defending champs in 1A, making a statement there. Let's get to the select side. Division I, second quarter score, Catholic leading St. Augustine 21-7. That's up in Baton Rouge. Halftime at Joe Yenny, a game that's part of the original tonight on radio on WGSO 990 AM. Rummel with a 7-3 lead at half over Brother Martin.
Not surprising. Two good defenses.
No doubt about it. Evangel leading Birds second quarter 20-17. Now, Evangel's the 5 seed, Birds the 4. Birds at home.
Now,
but Evangel beat them. I think
good.
It was 42-7 in a regular season.
Not too long ago, a few weeks. Huh?
Exactly. But Evangel really got hurt by those 3 out-of-state losses early in the year, and they weren't able to overcome them
Texas
in terms of seeding.
So.
Yeah. Curtis leading Jesuit. That game's at Yeoman Stadium, 17-0. That game is at halftime. In Division II, St. Charles, the number 2 seed, in a tie with Parkview Baptist at the half, 7-7. St. Thomas More is rolling over E.D. White, 35-7 second quarter.
They can score some points.
Those winners play. I tell you what, if it ends up STM and St. Charles Catholic in the semifinals, what an intriguing matchup that could be. Because St. Thomas More can score on anyone, and St. Charles Catholic is as good a defensive team as you're going to find. That will be interesting if that comes out to play. On the other side of the bracket of this one in Division II, of course, we mentioned University Lab, the number 1 seed. Heard Nick Salter from Agio call him the other night, the University of University Lab. It's 41-7 at half over St. Louis. So it's looking like the winner is heading to this game is heading to Baton Rouge for the semifinals. On to Division III, Country Day had a first-round bye.
Division III's got some good football teams in the playoffs right now.
They do.
Really
they do. Let's look at these scores. Country Day leading Ascension Episcopal 28-7 second quarter. That's in Old Metairie. The lights are in now, so they're playing under the lights.
Never thought I'd see that happen. Lights in Old Metairie.
Catholic and New Iberia, the defending champion in Division III, leads Dunham 14-7 at halftime. That's a 3-6 matchup. The 4-5 game up in Shreveport, Calvary leads Newman 14-10 at halftime, and in second quarter over in Crowley, Notre Dame leads Episcopal 14-10. And then in Division 4, one surprise. Let's get straight to that. Ouachita Christian, the 9 seed, leading Southern Lab, the number 1 seed in the bracket, 21-8 at halftime. That's got a chance to really blow things up in that bracket. And the recipient of all of that could be the 4 seed Lafayette Christian, who's beating Opelousas Catholic 35-7. That's a 4-5 game, and they're winning at 35-7 second quarter. On the other side, Vermilion Catholic leading St. Fred's 43-0 second quarter, and Ascension Catholic, the 2 having to travel to the 10 seed Catholic of Point Coupee. Ascension Catholic leads it 25-14. That is in the second quarter. By the way, there's one game tomorrow night in 4A. You're looking for a game to go check out tomorrow night. You're somewhere tonight, maybe watching us. There is a Saturday night game. It's at Hoss Memphis. Helen Cox got a chance to host by virtue of their first round upset. They will host Northwood of Shreveport tomorrow at 6 p.m. out at Hoss Memphis. Hannan back out on the field warming up. We have not seen De La Salle as of yet. Officials are making their way back out on the field as we're getting set for the second half. Lon, what do you think these two coaches talked about in the locker room at halftime?
Coach Manali talked about just keeping their composure. They had some penalties early, just getting losing their heads a little bit, and just keep doing what they're doing. They've proven they can move the ball on these guys. We don't need to do anything different. We just need to keep going and doing what we've been doing all year. Coach Watney, he's playing on that card I talked about earlier. The emotion, you're getting a second chance to beat these guys. They embarrassed you last year, and we really got to come out and hit them in the mouth to start the second half. I mean, he's getting after that and preaching that, and he told me, he said, I'm not one to shy away from talking about getting second chances, and we're going to do it. And we'll see if that plays out with Hannan's offense coming out to start second half. Are they going to be able to just do something? Because if they go down and get a score, now you're putting it, this game gets real interesting, because then De La Salle might have to just start doing things that they don't want to do to get back in the ball game down 2 scores.
Right. They're not used to playing from behind by any means. One update of note, by the way, they got into halftime in St. Martinville. A couple of scores right before the half. 28-7 now over Belle Chase at halftime, and look, that's a good St. Martinville team, and they're on the same side of the bracket with Warren East. And that game, if the seeds hold and they meet in the semifinals, that game is here in New Orleans. St. Martinville is the 3, Easton is the 2. So we'll see how that
Where would they
eventually
play
shakes
that game?
out.
Pan Am, maybe?
They would. Talking to Jerry Phillips on Tuesday, I asked that question. I think he said Pan Am is our home field.
Right.
We want to play at Pan Am. We like that intimate setting. Now, with the folks at City Park, if there's not a game at Gormley that night, and there wouldn't be in reality, because all your regular tenants are your private schools there are no games that week. So it's possible.
Because it's bye before the state championship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's possible. By the way, now Evangel has stretched out the lead over Byrd. It's 30-17 as they have reached halftime. Just about every game around the state is now at halftime there. So we'll keep an eye on those games, certainly. So we'll see how what kind of adjustments that we see these two teams making here as we head towards the third quarter. And exactly like you said, I think this first drive of the third quarter is very important. I think it's very critical for De La Salle to manage to come up with a stand here, start this second half of some kind, and get the ball back. Is still in a one-score game as the Hawks will take the field here.
Yeah, and De La Salle, talking to Coach Manali, they want to get the ball. They want to get the game into the fourth quarter with a lead, and that's kind of their mantra, what they preach. That if we can get into the fourth quarter, and we got the lead, we're going to win the fourth quarter. And he preaches that to his players. They believe in it. And they've shown it the last 2 years that's other than the buzzsaw they ran into U High last year in the Dome. But if Hannan can take care of their business, they're going to put De La Salle in a bad situation.
Again, now the Cavaliers returning to their sideline as we are getting set for football here. We'll see exactly the adjustments and really watch this first drive closely.
Yeah,
you're right. That's one thing. Look, we had a chance to produce the telecast of the De La Salle St. Charles Catholic game in Week 9, and that was Frank Monica's team went out, scored on the opening drive of the game, scored on the opening drive of the second half. De La Salle pretty much shut them down otherwise, but that was enough right there to get it done, especially when you're as good on defense as St. Charles Catholic is. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from this Archbishop Hannan defense thus far.
They're
Bending but not
scrappy.
breaking.
They're scrappy.
You know, they allowed that long drive to start the game, held up in the red zone. You know, got to stop on the second drive, and then, you know, on the third drive for that matter. So De La Salle had it 4 times in the first half. The last time was just kind of more of a you know, a 2-minute situation. Really not a lot of opportunity to put something on the board there. So,
you know, and I don't really see a whole lot of adjustments to be made. I mean, both teams are doing what I think they set out to do from my discussions with the head coaches yesterday. So, you know, other than maybe a little wrinkle here or there, or maybe a little trick play or something to catch them napping.
Right, you certainly want to catch things better. Maybe you saw something that the other team was doing that will allow you to make some adjustments. So here we go. Short kick towards the near side, taken at about the 26-yard line. And Hannan will start this opening drive of the third quarter at about the 32, it appears.
Harvey on the return. The Hawks will take over at the 33-yard line.
So Brantley Taylor, who in the first half was 4 out of 9 for 70 yards. Of course, that big 54-yard play the last time he touched the football, the touchdown pass to Millen. This Hannan team only had 28 yards rushing, as you saw in the halftime stats there.
Not surprising.
No.
De La Salle's they're
going to
pretty
hold
stout up front. Yeah,
right. That was on 14 carries. That's basically 2 yards a carry. Give it away on first down, and not much room to run there. Maybe a yard or two, as David will get. They'll call it 2.
The Hannan offensive line's really not getting a lot of push up front. You know, De La Salle's really just kind of shooting their hands, holding their ground, and able to find the football and get off the block and make tackle. And that's why you're not seeing very big gains by Hannan in the running game, especially on first down. And they play different. You know, they're going to play gap responsibility, whereas Hannan on defense is playing a lot of movement and slant and so forth.
So second down and 8 at the 34. Play action, come this way, caught short of the first down as that was Spencer George's on the catch.
Yeah, nice little play action right there. Well-designed play. A little something different, you know, that we didn't see in the first half from the Hawks. Just kind of a little fake to the running back, and the inside receiver kind of goes inside like he's going to block and then just pivots out and flats open, and you get a nice gain.
Third down and 2 for the Hawks. And the Cavaliers looking to get a 3-and-out right here. This is tight situation, but it's well defended. They got some great penetration right there, and leading the way was Jude Milford, the freshman linebacker. He had 5 tackles for loss, make it 6 there.
Yeah, the timing was off on that play. Not every lineman for Hannan moved at the same time. De La Salle had a blitz on. It just, again, one of those ugly plays just was not executed very well. De La Salle did their job. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Coming out to start the second.
And I think what you're seeing here, look, what we've seen throughout this, hour plus that we've been here, 2 pretty good defenses on the field tonight. There's no doubt about that. And now we'll see a bunch of shifting.
Again, 21-point formations, according to Coach Manali.
They will punt it away, and that's not a very good kick right there. This is off the side of the foot.
Shankopotamus.
And let's see where they mark this. It's going to be right close to midfield. It's going to be great field position coming up for the Cavaliers. Oh, they put the ball at the 44-yard line. That's not. He's got to keep going. Okay, this guy's in the way. Okay, there you go. Right at the 49-yard line.
I tell you, the way they do that is I don't understand how it works. How the white hat, the deepest guy back there, knows where that ball crossed the sideline in the air. But that's how they do it. That side judge walks up the sideline till the white hat drops his hand. That's where it is. So still trying to figure that one out, but it's the way it's been done for a long time.
So the Cavaliers' best field position of the night for either team. Midfield is the starting point here. Play action, going to take a shot down the seam and got it.
Well defended by
Yeah.
Hannan, but good run. You know,
It's
good
pop-
pass, good catch right there.
Ivan Paz on the catch, the 5'10", 180-pound senior with his 16th catch of the year, gets it out to the 32-yard line.
Wildcat.
And now Collins will keep it himself. Breaking tackles, falling forward, out near the chains.
I tell you, you know, you hear sometimes a running back runs violent. He runs violent. When he's going, he gets behind his pads, and he tries to deliver the blow, not take the blow.
Collins in the first half, 20 carries for 105 yards, and before this would get started, flags. And Ryan Manali is got his arms extended, wanting to know what is going on here.
I don't know what that signal is.
I'm not sure what the. Was some kind of snap infraction, perhaps? Oh, it was a snap before the play was blown. It was before they're ready for play.
So that's not a penalty, though. It doesn't look like they marked any yardage off or anything like that.
Yeah, they did. They marked it back
did
5.
they?
It's second down
okay,
and 7.
Okay.
So now instead of 2nd and 2, it's 2nd and 7. It kills a little bit of that momentum right there. Johnson will take the handoff this time, runs over a defender, still on his feet. Down inside the 15, out near the 10-yard line, and De La Salle will have a first down in the red zone.
Yeah, this is, you know, De La Salle, this is playing out exactly how De La Salle would have wanted it to. Certainly not the way Hannan would have liked to see, but Hannan's toughened up down here earlier in the game. Let's see if they can do it again.
All right, it's 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line after the gain of 16 by Johnson. Collins gives it away to Johnson. Bouncing outside, still on his feet, going for the end zone. He is short, I believe. He'll step out at about the 1-yard line.
Johnson forced out at the 1 yard.
Well, we would like to have a pylon cam there, see if he'd have gotten in, you know. I don't know if we would have.
I would like to have a pylon cam, I can tell you that. We'll talk to Ken and see if we can add that one to the budget for next week.
Ken, get us a pylon cam. Touchdown.
It is in for, is it? Touchdown. Didn't see a signal come up from the far side, but it's in for the touchdown. And that was exactly what the doctor ordered for Ryan Manali's club right there. 5 plays, 50 yards. They needed just 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Yeah, now we talk about momentum shifting. Completely now the pendulum has swung to the other side.
Big extra point coming here for Giacone to make this a 3-point game once again.
Got it.
That is good, and the Cavaliers now lead at 10-7. And look at Ryan Manali out there. He is exhorting his fans, his bench, trying to get them back into this. A lot of things since the opening drive of this game have not gone the Cavaliers' way, but they come up with a big answer right there on their opening possession of the third quarter.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Hawks respond. They would have liked to have done something with that first drive. Didn't work out the way they wanted. Fortunately for them, De La Salle goes down and scores. But look, this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Long way to go.
You can't hang your head. You got to come out and say, okay, that's fine. You answered. Now what are we going to do? But you saw De La Salle came out and did some different stuff a little bit. Said, hey, we're going to throw the ball a little bit on you. And they did. So let's see if Hannan has the same kind of mindset that we're going to have to do some things that maybe we didn't show, maybe we not used to doing. But again, all stops. Let's take it. Do whatever we got to do to win the football game.
Hey, Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Lamarque Ford in Kenner, the only local dealership in the New Orleans area where you can totally buy online. Go to Lamarque.com. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarque for his support of high school football throughout this 2018 season here on Crescent City Sports.
I'm surprised they haven't moved their deep guys up some because, I don't know.
Or maybe even switch. If you've seen that pooch kick now, maybe sneak one of your deep
he
guys up
hasn't
in the
kicked it past
formation.
the
Switch
20.
them up. This one's a little bit deeper this time, and
Gotta
this
get
is going
that.
to hit. It's on the ground, but it's going to, I believe, go out of bounds. Yes.
That's scary when that kind of thing happens. That's a live ball. You know, remember that, you know.
Yeah, if you could.
So you take it at the 35 here. That's your option as an offense on the kick out of bounds. You can opt to make them kick it again, but you don't see that very often. Most coaches are going to take it on the 35. It's great field position,
especially when they're pooching the ball on a field that is less than ideal.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to
take your field position.
Yeah, well, you take it. Yeah, to take the chance of a bad play or a disastrous play out of play.
Yep.
Right there. So Hannan will take over offensively at the 35-yard line. He went 3 and out on their opening possession. Then the short punt set up De La Salle for that 5-play, 50-yard drive to give the Cavaliers the 3-point lead. Here with 8:15 remaining in the third quarter. Operating under center. Now they'll throw the quick pass out in the left flat. Handful of Cavaliers over there, led by, that was Tristan Llewellyn on the tackle there after a gain of about 4.
I tell you what, they showed a lot of speed on defense right there. That play was well designed, well blocked, and the hole that was there, a little seam that he had to run, closed up very, very fast by the De La Salle second and third level defenders.
2nd and 6 to 39. This matches the best second down situation that Hannan has been in all night. In fact, the only other time they were in 2nd and 6 was that long pass for the touchdown for the only points of the night for the Hawks. Now we're going to get a little throwback screen action here, and the Cavaliers were waiting for it. They had some pressure coming off the edge right now, but defender filling right in to make the play there at a gain of 1.
Yeah, it looks like one of the Hannan players missed the block out there, and if he could have made that block, it would have been a much bigger play. Yeah, the lineman going out to get that strong safety out there, he whiffed, and he was able to come up and make that tackle. Big play right here. Huge play momentum-wise.
No doubt. If you're Hannan, you need to keep your offense on the field. 3rd down, 5. The line to gain is the 45. Going far side. That pass is intercept. Nope, they're going to call it incomplete. It looked like there for a moment that Quincy Thomas, the senior cornerback, had his hands on it, but he could not complete the catch, and it's 4th and 5.
Yeah, he sat on that hitch. I mean, he didn't even barely backpedaled at all. He was sitting at the sticks. Great job playing there. I'm telling you, that hitch and go is there if they want to run it.
Now, maybe it's one of those things you sit in there and
you got to set it up. You do, but, it's there.
Because you got to, how many passes do you need to throw to, make that happen? Yeah. Maybe it's the next possession. We don't know. You see how the Cavaliers are really playing off the line of scrimmage now after they got burned on that first punt formation when the shift happened.
Not even rushing. Much better punt this time.
And they will let this hit and roll dead at about the 34-yard line. It'll be a 26-yard punt, and that's where the Cavaliers will start this possession.
Yeah, if you're Hannan's defense right here, you really got to stiffen up. The last thing in the world you can let happen is let De La Salle go down score again and put yourself down. That would make it what?
A 2-score game here. We're hitting the midway point of the third quarter.
Yeah, it would be a 2-score, 10-point game.
And that was an interesting possession last time. Let's see exactly. It looks like they're going to come out in Wildcat right now, but
they threw the ball a little bit.
They threw the ball on the first play, and then they went all Wildcat after that. On 1st down, Collins will keep out of the Wildcat and gain about 7.
I tell you what, he sees just a little crease and hits it hard. There wasn't a whole lot there, and he saw a little daylight and just put his head down and picks up 7 yards.
So that is now 120 yards on the night for Kendall Collins. Second and 3. We'll give it away this time. This is Johnson on the carry. Get it out to about the 45, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Collins is clearly the man here in the backfield when you talk about De La Salle. But Johnson earlier this year had a game against Riverside where he rushed for over 300 yards, setting a school single-game record for rushing.
Wow.
So he can definitely put
Well,
up the numbers.
and when you're in the Wildcat, you got to respect both those guys.
Well,
I mean,
it's
that's tough as a
it's-
defense.
it's
Is he
an
going to
11th
hand it off? Is he going to pull it?
Right. It's
You
an
know?
11th man on the field, really,
Yes.
in terms of how you have to defend an offense. There's no doubt about it. And again, it will be Collins operating from the Wildcat with Johnson the sidecar. He'll give it away on first down, and Johnson will fall forward and get about 3, so they stay on schedule. And it'll be 2nd and 7 at the 48.
But you can see how they respect Collins when he's kind of acting like he's got the ball, pulling on that naked kind of bootleg on that read. There's somebody out there just kind of watching him, which is one less defender in the box on the run, on the handoff.
By the way, Denham Springs has now extended the lead over Acadiana. It's now 30-16. They're into the third quarter in Denham. Collins just running guys over. What a terrific job by Kendall Collins as he gets the first down, a gain of 8 on the play.
Missed tackles there.
You gotta wrap up when you have the chance, especially with these De La Salle running backs.
Great.
Just spin out of one, take another guy, and just drove him 4 yards back when he put his head down.
Great block
That's
by
effort.
65, Noah Devlin, the left tackle. He took his man and drove him all the way down to the football and allowed that bounce to happen.
So De La Salle now at the 44 of Hannan. They'll give it away this time. That was
Byron Phillips.
Byron Phillips first. You see those clean jerseys in there, you know you're seeing somebody for the first time tonight, right? Byron Phillips, the sophomore, carried it 29 times before that. Getting a chance there. Gets a couple, and it's 2nd and 8.
But the one guy who's not coming out, they're rolling running backs. The one guy who's not coming out is number 1.
And he will keep it this time on 2nd and 8. Drive a defender. 2 defenders out past the 40 to the 39-yard line, and it's going to be a 3rd and 5 for the Cavaliers. And I gotta believe here, Lon, if you're looking ahead here, this may be 4-down territory right here.
I would believe so.
Or I don't know if maybe you want to punt and play defense right here. I mean, you've done a good job defensively in the first 2 series. Do you want to try to pin them back too?
Yeah, if I know Coach Manali, though, I would think
He's gonna-
if it's anything
go.
inside of 5, I'm saying he's probably going to go for it the way his defense is playing.
Play clock gets down under 15. Collins looks like he's checking the play now. Play clock at 6. We'll give it away. This is Johnson on the carry. Still
He did
churning.
not
He'll be
get it.
short of the first down. He might have gotten about 1.5 yards on that one. Make it 1. It's going to be 4th and 4 at the 38. Line to gain is the 34-yard line.
I don't see a punt team on the sideline.
No. Give this a shot here as the clock is going to tick under 3 minutes here in the third quarter. Play clock down at 6, 5. They're going to have to hurry if they're going to get this off. 3, 2, 1. They get it away, and it's a quick kick from Collins.
Good job.
And they've got no one back there. This was well executed by the Cavaliers as they're going to pin
Great call.
Archbishop Hannan back at the 11-yard line.
Great call by Coach Manali. That's a real heads-up play right there. Make them go 90 plus.
So Hannan takes over with 2:38 left in the third quarter at the 11-yard line. Worst field position of the night for either team.
You know, we're still in the third quarter, but the clock is starting to become somewhat of an issue. Even though we're still in the third quarter, because you know, remember the lack of possessions both teams had in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
You might get the ball 2 more times if you're Hannan.
Sure.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, Hannan had it only 3 times in the first half, and that's well defended on first down by the Cavaliers. Maybe got a gain of 2 there.
I tell you, De La Salle's defensive front has really played tough all night. You know, Hannan's run the ball all year, and you can see that in their stats. But, you know, Tyler, Penn, Rader, and Llewellyn, I mean, they've just done a great job. I know there's a couple other guys who've been playing in there as well. But done an excellent job against the run tonight.
2nd down, call it a long 8. play action, and that was
Just a
bounced
bad
out in
throw.
a flat. Yeah, trying to.
Just a bad throw.
Yeah, trying to roll left. When
It was
right-handed quarterbacks roll left right there, you can't get you really can't get much momentum into the throw without setting your feet.
And it was the same play they ran down here, a series or two ago, and to the right, and just not executed well. Bad pass. It was well defended, too. I don't know how much it would have gotten anyway.
Well, here's a big play in this football game right here. Third down and 8 at the 13-yard line.
This could possibly be the ball game.
Well, again, especially if you don't convert and you have to punt, you're giving De La Salle great field position.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. 3rd and 8. Well, whistles before this one can get started. Let's see.
I don't see any flags on. Oh, no, the flag down here on the near side. It's going to have to be a false start. Yep, that's just not what you want to see happen. It'll be the full 5 yards.
Yep. Ball was at the 13, so yeah, now be 3rd and 13 at the 8. Hannan's going to have to hurry here, just getting to the line now with 9 on the play clock. Get it away with 4. Run the football or try. The quarterback actually kept it, and the De La Salle defense not fooled at all. Tristan Llewellyn among those in the backfield making the stop. That's going to be a loss of 4 on the play, or make it a loss of 3, and it's going to be 4th down and 16. Put the ball at the 5-yard line here, Lon.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not Hannan's game. I mean, those long yardage, third and long situations, especially inside your own 10-yard line, it's just not the way you've been playing all year.
So the Cavaliers should come away with great field position right here. Well, it's not a bad kick. That will be a fair catch called for by Collins at the 34, maybe the 33-yard line. And we'll call it the 33, and that is where the Cavaliers will start this drive with 1:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And think about it, the quick kick call, that was the
was
call right there.
It was 4th and 4 at the 38. Look, if you had made the first down, if you'd gone for it and made it, then that's about where you would be. But that's a big risk on 4th and 4. What are your odds of converting there? I don't know. 20, 30%,
I mean,
still, on a 4th and 4 play.
You did your, great kick. Defense does their job and gets the ball right back to the offense with as good a field position as you can get.
So from the 33, once again, Wildcat. Give it away, bouncing it outside. And Montrell Johnson will get about 6 on 1st down.
Yeah, they just, one of the things, again, that Coach Watney talked about yesterday was tackling. They needed to tackle, and they're having a hard time right now tackling these backs.
And look, you got guys, Collins is listed at 5'10", 190. He probably plays a little bit bigger than that. Johnson's 5'11", 193. And these guys, you mentioned, are guys that run angry. These are a couple of guys that can run angry out there. Collins will keep it. Look to bounce outside. Sheds a tackle. Out past the 1st down, still running. Down near the 10-yard line. 1st down, De La Salle. Now the question is, did they get to the 10? Is it 1st and goal, or is it 1st and 10 and they can make the 1st down?
Looks like they're going to be outside the 10, maybe about the 11 or more like the 12.
Get down to that end of the field, and
it's hard to see.
It's shoot up, and
and the lines aren't very dark.
Right.
We're in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. About to be. They're gonna let the clock run out here at the end of the 3rd quarter. 10, 9, 8. You see a countdown on your screen. We will get to the 4th quarter, and De La Salle is once again in the red zone and a huge opportunity to make this a 2-score game. 12 minutes to go in Covington with your score. De La Salle 10, Archbishop Hannan 7. Back with more after this. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. So here we go into the fourth quarter. De La Salle in the red zone. Will operate from about the 12-yard line. Now moving left to right. Big possession in this football game right here. Collins has Johnson to his left, got a couple of blockers lined up in the backfield to his right. He'll keep it on first down. Continue to drive forward out to about the 8-yard line. Collins, I have him unofficially at 153 yards. Let me double check those numbers. Make it 150 on the nose now. 150
and a
for
tough
Collins.
150 too.
Yeah.
He's
That's
battling in there.
No, that's 26 carries tonight. He had 20 at halftime. He's got 6 here in the second half, but he is taking over in the Wildcat here. Southeastern Louisiana commit Frank Selfo is getting a good one here. This is a lot of what we saw Julian Gums do a year ago. This is Johnson on the carry. Johnson just a sophomore. He's going to be the bell cow of this offense from a running back perspective for the next 2 years. Rojas is back next year. That will
Yeah, we hadn't seen Rojas since the
opening play.
He threw that pass, and he hasn't been back on the field yet.
So it's 3rd and 3 at the 5. And look, in a 10-7 game, I think this is 4-down territory right here. I know your kicker is kicking better, but a field goal, if you get stopped, this is still a one-score game. I think you got to come away with 7 right now.
And Hannan's done nothing on offense in the second half, so that is factor into it as well.
Johnson bouncing it outside. Can he get to the corner? He got knocked out at the 1-yard line, but I think he was already out of bounds first. Did I see a flag come in there late? It's going to be a first down.
Wow, that ball came out. You know, that's an interesting situation. That ball comes out. And
the ball comes out and goes
inside the pylon, out of bounds.
Doubt.
That's a touchback.
We got the first down at the 1-yard line, so now the chains will be down. We got that thing marked.
It's more. It's
about 1.5 yards. Yeah, it's a little bit longer than a yard, but he was definitely inside the chains. Now Johnson will motion out. Collins is going to keep it on first down, and he is in for the touchdown. Kendall Collins goes 1 yard on the touchdown run. That is, for Collins, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. And this is a 16-7 De La Salle lead with 10:15 remaining. Six plays, 33 yards. It took 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Point after. On its way and good. And the Cavaliers now lead it 17-7. Gives us a moment on to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Gills Bar. For more than a half a century, offering services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. And they're headquartered here on the North Shore, just down the road in Covington. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com. Our thanks to Hank Miltenberger and everyone at Gills Bar for their support of everything that we do at Crescent City Sports. Gives us a chance. Let's check in on some scores here, Lon. Is it starting to get late early? Is that what Yogi Berra said there?
Yeah.
It's getting late early? Yeah, look, we're in the fourth quarter here. There's some other ones in the fourth quarter as well. By the way, third quarter at Berman. Dastrahan 28, Landry Walker 26. A good one underway in that one. Slidell has now extended its lead over East Ascension. 17-7 fourth quarter with John Arrett leading Houghton. That holds. Remember, that's Arrett at Slidell in the quarters next week in 5A.
Two high-scoring offenses there.
That would be a very entertaining game, perhaps. Lakeshore leading Livonia 28-14 third quarter. It's a little bit deeper kick that time, out to about the 17-yard line. We'll stretch it back out to the far side, try to get the corner. Stiff arm, continuing to run and down out past the 35-yard line out to about the 36. So a nice return that time.
Yeah, you hope if Hannan that can kind of get you going, get you excited again, because since that opening drive, it just hadn't had a whole lot of excitement on the sideline with the red jerseys, and you got to get something here. I mean, there's a good chance.
Right, for the Hawks, it's been three and outs.
Yeah.
Here in the second half, and you've got to get something
going
here. Now you're 2 scores down.
Is you might not get the ball back. I mean, it's that dire at this point.
Well,
and if you do, you might get it back with very little on the clock.
And look, what has De La Salle done? De La Salle has taken advantage of field position. The 2 scoring drives, they started at the 50, and they started at
33,
the 33 of Hannan. So they took advantage of 2 short fields, turned them into touchdowns. Going to the air here on first down, taking a shot, and that is incomplete.
That's what they did, hitch and go.
But give credit to the Cavalier defense, especially Quincy Thomas, for staying with that one. And it's 2nd and 10. Now, if you look at Hannan's scores this year, they've been in a lot of tight games. This is not a team that went 11-0 just blowing everyone's doors off. They beat St. Michael 18-14. They beat Albany 24-14. Beat Laurentian 36-28. Bogalusa 28-20. So they've been in some close games quite a bit this year. Caught and knocked out of bounds short of the first down. It'll go for a gain of 9 on the catch by Millen. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 46. You get another look there. Broke 1 tackle, continued to churn, and got about a yard short of the first down. Under center. Quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1. I tell you what, they stuffed it pretty good, but he's going to get the forward progress to the 47, it looks like. Yeah, I think they'll move the chains there.
In Millen, number 2.
Oh, wait, well, hold that. We're going to get a measurement for the first time
we're
tonight.
right on it, our vantage point here. And
it sure looks like he's got it.
He's got it by the length of the ball.
Yeah, but as we learned last week, I don't know how much you can trust chains. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was one of the worst. That's one of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, you had that call, but I also think there were times, I don't know if it was just the field was mismarked or whatever it was, but it certainly didn't look like the chain stretched out 10 full yards either. So it was a strange game when it came to chains and measurements and stuff like that. You called it on eagle eye. Length of the football.
And here's my thing. I said get it right. I like it, but that was pretty obvious. And you just kind of like the heat and humidity timeout early in the season. You kind of just took a little bit of the air out of the balloon for Hannan. They just got a first down, the first one of the second half, and kind of, the crowd's getting into it a little bit, and then, we got a little time to wait to see something that should have been seen from the field without the chains out.
So 1st and 10 now at the 47-yard line. Pass incomplete. It looked like he might have just lost the grip on that one there, Lon. Or maybe he got tipped. I don't know.
He's been very inaccurate tonight on some pretty easy throws. Really kind of shows you that they don't depend on his arm to win football games. Although he did throw that deep ball amazing earlier at the end of the second half, the first half. Yeah, I mean, you got to execute. If you're going to win a second-round playoff game, you got to execute plays like that.
By the way, University Lab now leading St. Louis. Last we had 3rd quarter score 48-7. Big hole right there, and I'll tell you what, a great tackle coming in. That looked like a sure first down, and a big hit that was made there to stop that about a yard short of the first down. We have not seen much on the ground other than that
was
scramble.
Number 4, Joseph Husband, who came in there. That was one of the players Coach Manali talked about, said he is a football player. They really like him.
Big play last year in their win over Carr, and it looks like the Cavaliers stopped it on 3rd and short here. Tried to run some kind of
you're gonna have a little left foot, right foot spot here on the two side judges. Be interesting how it played.
That appears to be short there. Are they going to measure again? Let's see. Nope, they're calling it 4th down. It's 4th down and probably about half a yard. So I would say this could be your ball game right here.
Well, we got 8 minutes on the clock. Yeah, it's
Cavaliers
come up.
Cavaliers come up with a stop. This might be a bit too much to overcome.
Yeah.
Now the Hawks will hustle to the line. 7 on the play clock. Man in motion. Fake the jet sweep and then give it away. And momentum falling forward by the back. Well, I tell you what, the judge the line judge coming in from this side marked it
And
short.
who gets the ball?
He marked it short. This may be short of the 1st down. We're going to get a measurement. I thought he had it, and
that was one of those ones. Which guy got in there first and got the football?
Now the play came in his direction. He could see the ball go down, and we'll get another. We had another look at it there. See if we could take one more look at the play and see exactly what he saw from this side. But first, let's get the measurement. This is as important as anything right now. Eyeball says he may not have it. He is well short. It's De La Salle football. Take another look, Juan. Maybe it's a knee down here. I'm not sure, but
hard to see there. I thought he got a little bit further than that. I don't know if he still would have made it, but again, it's just one guy had it one spot, one guy had it the other. The guy who had it short got the ball first.
As short as that was, I'm not sure if it might not have still been short on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if he would have got it with the other spot. So.
So De La Salle with a 10-point lead in a football with 7:48 remaining.
Yeah, Hannan
it just shouldn't be 4 minutes. Just shouldn't be 4 minutes on the clock right now.
Yeah,
because you're in 4-minute offense mode. You're looking to make first downs right here.
Hannan needs a turnover,
and that is Montrell Johnson on the carry, and he will get a first down and a gain of about 15 on the first play. And check it, I'll move it back to the 43, a gain of 13 for Johnson. We have seen, with the exception of the first play of the 3rd quarter, this has been all Collins operating from the Wildcat with Johnson alongside.
Yeah. Those are their guys.
And ironically, it was the first play to kind of set things in motion. That pass play to Paz for 20 yards.
Yeah.
That really kind of got things going offensively for De La Salle. Collins is going to keep it this time. 40, takes on a defender to about the 36. A flag came in, possibly in the area of holding.
Yeah,
right
you're going to get a hold. The left guard pulled. Who was that? That's
it looked like John Martin.
Karakowski, 61. And the defensive end took on the block, and he just kind of grabbed him and threw him to the ground. If you look at the replay, good call by the official. I've seen a lot of hands and grabbing jerseys tonight, and the refs have let it kind of go. But that was pretty obvious right there.
Well, again, holding in high school football was a spot foul, not from the line of scrimmage. So
worst penalty in football.
First and 21 now at the 46.
As an offensive line coach, I hated that rule with all of my passion.
It just seems like it would be easier to enforce from the line of scrimmage.
And Ken and I have talked about it. If you're going to make that a spot foul, then pass interference should be a spot foul. Make it one for each side of the ball.
No.
One for defense, one for offense.
No doubt. On the 46. And that was Johnson getting about 4 or 5 of it back. They'll put it right down at the midfield stripe. It's going to be 2nd down and 17.
I tell you, somebody got a hold of those shoestrings right there, and if they wouldn't, that would have been another huge play. I mean, he popped through there pretty good, and just again, somebody tripped him up at the last second and held him to a short gain.
Clock will tick under the 6-minute mark, likely before this football is snapped. I think the Cavaliers are going to continue to milk it right here.
Oh, you shouldn't be snapping a ball with the play clock above 5. I mean, let it go down as far as you can, and he's been told that. I mean, he knows what he's doing out there.
Snap it on 2. Johnson trying to break a tackle, can't do it. Nicely defended that time, and great penetration by the Hawk defense, and it's a loss of 6 on the play.
Looks like Hannan called timeout.
5:47 remaining, and indeed Hannan uses its first timeout of the half. We're going to be somewhere next Friday with more playoff football. Wish I could tell you where at this point. We've got to let the games play themselves out as they're in the process of doing, and on down the line, we will certainly let you know early next week at Crescent City Sports exactly where we are headed next Friday. Maybe it's Friday afternoon, maybe it's Friday night, maybe it's both. We'll see how it all plays out in terms of opportunities that are available to us, but we will let you know where we are headed. And I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of good options in Southeast Louisiana on games to bring you next week.
Yeah, you got a lot of good teams still going to be alive next week. So, when you get that deep in the playoffs, all the games are going to get good because that's what you got left, good football teams.
Well,
everybody's kind of weeded themselves out.
One really good football team is Carr. They're winning at Tioga tonight, 49-6 in the third quarter. So here we go on 3rd down and a bunch, 3rd and 23. And what's interesting to me is it's still Collins at quarterback and not Rojas here, which tells
they're
me
running the
ball is not going in
yeah.
the air.
I don't think so. But what do we know? You draw. There
Quarterback
you go.
draw.
Quarterback draw.
And not much to get there. Maybe a gain of 2 on the play, and it's going to be 4th down. And it looks like Hannan used no, they did not use a timeout. Check that. So this clock's going to tick down close to the 5-minute mark by the time that it's punted away.
And 25-second clock.
Still not started yet.
They took a long.
They didn't
time
mark
to
it
put
ready
that.
for play. It took a long time to mark that ready for play, and that's
a little bit slow.
Well,
right
and look, that's a big break for De La Salle right there. This is going to be
from the time he was tackled to the time they put it in play was a good 15-20 seconds.
Again, Hannan with 2 men deep. Did they call that play clock reached 0? Was there a timeout first? Delay a game.
I mean, if you're De La Salle, that doesn't kill you.
No.
I mean, it really doesn't. 5 yards when it's already 4th and 20. 5 yards, it's not going to give up a whole lot of field position. It doesn't look like Hannan's going to come after it really with anything. They only have 6 on the line.
Maybe they're setting up a return here, perhaps. Kicked it down the middle, and it will roll away from the return man. And finally, De La Salle won't even get a chance to down it. It's blown dead as it stops the 29-yard line with 4:35 remaining. So De La Salle got 1 first down there, really. Almost had 2. They had a second one, but it was called back by a holding penalty. Took 3 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock.
Yeah,
1 first down, and that was
the clock is your friend at this point if
Right.
you're De La Salle up 2 scores. Now 1 score, different story,
and
but
keep
2 scores,
right.
Any time you can take off the clock is good for you, especially with the lack of success Hannan's had on offense in the second half. I mean, they haven't had a whole lot all night, but the second half has really been just not good outcomes for Hannan's offense.
1 first down in the second half for the Hawks. That came on the last drive. Got the 3rd and 1 situation and snuck it for the first down. Had a 4th and 1 situation. Actually, 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 on the next series of downs and couldn't convert. Now we got to stop at your play here.
I don't know what Coach Manally's he's chewing the referee's ear about something. I don't know what it is.
I'm wondering if it may have had something to do with the play clock before. And we're going to get an end around. Now we're going to get a look for a throwback.
Yeah, they wanted to
and
throw
they
it
wanted
back
the
to
throwback, and that was thrown on the ground incomplete.
De La Salle was all over it. Yeah. You know, and again, that's one of those plays you really needed to call that in the second quarter. You know, that's when you're down 2 scores. De La Salle's playing safe. They're playing don't get beat by anything. And then, you know, you're just not going to have the same effect on a play like that in the fourth quarter down by 2 scores as you would in the second quarter with a tight ball game.
And that will be incomplete, out of bounds, 3rd and 10.
It's certainly 4-down territory here. You know, they're going to have to go for it regardless.
No doubt
you know,
at this
there's
point.
no down 2 scores. I mean, they need a first down. They need to keep the chains moving.
And that is caught near side, down at the 36-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down and 3. That was Travers on the catch that time, gain of 7. And now it's 4th and 3, and like you said, you got to go right here. There's no more time as we have ticked under the 4-minute mark. Cavaliers perhaps a stop
Empty
away
backfield.
from wrapping this
First
up.
time we've seen that tonight.
5 wide. Coming off the edge, they'll make the quarterback scramble. He's got room to run and a first down. And dragged out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. So Taylor put it down and ran with it, and needed 3, got 7.
Theodore
he
Tyler.
got out of bounds.
Theodore Tyler for De La Salle. He was screaming a little bit for a holding call. Probably had a pretty good argument right there. And but the refs have been consistent. They've been letting them play all night.
Now under 3.5 to play. Shot down the middle, and that is
caught.
Wow.
Travers again.
That was a dangerous pass. You don't
they
want to
threw
see
that
this
route earlier and was incomplete earlier tonight. This time he was able to come up with the catch.
Hannan still with 2 timeouts remaining. Slant pass is incomplete. And it's 2nd and 10. So when you've got a team that's in situations that they haven't been in a lot, if at all, that can be a challenge. Yeah.
It's tough, you know, and you try to prepare for everything, but you know.
Taking a shot down.
Oh, good.
Rolling out and now taking a shot and caught.
I tell you what, that's as good a throw as that young man's made tonight.
That was Travers again.
Brantley Taylor, you know, to come out of that, you know, was really close to getting sacked. To come out of that, to make that throw, roll into his left, on the money across the middle, that was a heck of a football throw right there.
Tyler was slow to get back into play. He was down at the 50-yard line. Got back up, now taking a shot at the end zone, and that pass is going to be incomplete and very nearly intercepted.
Yeah, they tried to hitch and go again. Great job by the corner for De La Salle. Who's that?
That was Marvin Nunez, I believe, 33.
Yeah, 33. Hadn't called his name tonight, but I tell you what, you know, he made a play right there. Now Theodore Tyler's coming off the field. He looks a little gassed.
Yeah, well, he looked like he was down on the previous play and stayed in it.
Yeah,
got back up and got back
gassed.
to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was hurt or just
got a blitz
out of
coming.
it, and they got him off the edge, and that is a sack for the Cavaliers. That is number 22 on the tackle. It's Shamar Keelan from his linebacker position. 3rd sack of the season for Keelan, and now it's 3rd and long.
Having coached with Eddie Jack Clark and then coached against him for many years when I was at Holy Cross, He loves to bring that extra defender off that short side of the field. That is one of the things he's made a living off of.
3rd down and 16. Bobbled the snap. Now they're going to try and go with the
tunnel
screen. The tunnel screen, and they've got it.
Something.
Down inside
still
the
going.
5. It's still going on his feet. Did
Touchdown.
he get in?
Touchdown. Wow. I'm going to have to guess that was Millen, huh? Was that Dawson Millen?
We'll get another look at it right here, Lon.
Dawson Millen, number 2.
Once again, 2nd touchdown tonight. And
I tell you, way to come up big by that young man in a crucial situation. I mean, there's your senior, there's your leader on offense. And
now you got it. Now if you're De La Salle, look, if you're De La Salle, you got to defend the extra point here with the swinging gate and make sure that you've got everything covered that you need to cover. Don't give up a 2 here. Just let them try the extra point. You don't want to give them a chance to be able to win with a field goal. 2:13 is all that remains. Kick on the way, and it is good, and it's 17-14. That was on 3rd and 16, by the way.
Wow. I tell you what, heck of a call. Tonal screen to your guy, to the guy that you're riding all night, all the season, in this great season you've had. Just looked at Coach Manali on the sideline. He's getting his hands team ready. He's ready for it. He's going to be ready for an onside kick. I'm looking at the scoreboard. It says Hannan has 3, but I think I
thought it was 2.
I think they used one on that last series by De La Salle offensively.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're right.
So you got 2 timeouts. De La Salle's gonna have to get a first down.
I'm sure Coach Manali is reminding his team about how they had to hang on for dear life as well against St. James. That was a game we had here at Crescent City Sports in Week 8 where they had a 2-score lead. St. James got 2 scores late and missed a 2-point conversion with a chance to tie and send it to overtime. So they've been in this situation before. You gotta recover. You got to recover the onside kick,
and you got to
make a first down.
You have to get a first down.
Well, of course, yeah.
Because with 2 timeouts, there's too much time. And again, I mentioned this last week. Every coach, there's a chart, and it tells you exactly if you have so many timeouts and there's this much time left. What is that number it needs to be at for you to not have to run a play and get a first down? And so they're looking at that, and I don't remember it memorized it, but 2:13 is a lot of time with 2 timeouts, and so they're going to have to get a first down.
No doubt.
Let's see what the special teams coordinator has up his sleeve right here, if anything.
Try to pooch it over to the top, and a fair catch is called by Collins. And that is going to be down at about the 35-yard line, and that's where De La Salle is going to start.
So, I mean,
that's interesting. You would think Collins, as much as the ball was in his hands, he
would have been
one
up
of the
on
guys
front.
up front.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
But you need that guy back in that event right there to be able to deal with that, and that's good coaching. It's that simple.
So here's the scene. It's 2 timeouts for Hannan, 2:13 left. You get a stop. You get the ball back with a minute and a half left. Using your minute 20, using your timeouts wisely. De La Salle gets a first down. The ball game's over.
There you go. Unless they get it on first down. Now keep that in mind. You're assuming 2 or 3 plays here.
But even that would almost get your time down low enough that 2 timeouts can't.
No doubt. 3-point game.
I wonder who's going to get the ball.
Well, considering Collins is back there by himself right now. And look, they've got 3 wide to make them get some guys out of the box right there. Collins is brought down in the backfield on first down. Timeout, Hannan.
That's what you want to do if you're Hannan. Now you got to, it's loss of 3. Very, very stout right there up front, And that's strange that Coach Manali would come out there just all alone, in the backfield with number 1. Again, he's the only threat.
Well, there's that, but the other thing I would say is this. While you do that, you also, with the read option and things, you take the fumble perhaps out of play there. And that's one thing you got to think about on the on the read and keeping it in the belly.
You do, but there's only one guy to key on, and we've seen tonight that number 2, you got to worry about him also. You know,
No doubt.
and now maybe a jet motion here if they keep him alone in the backfield. You know, no, because they're loaded up with. They got 2 H-backs in the backfield. So no, you only got 3 receivers. So no, here is the jet motion.
Now you get your jet motion. Fake it. Collins might have gotten about 2, and another timeout called
That's
by
it.
Hannan.
Last time out.
Cabrera there first, followed by a host of Hawks. Timeout. Hannan.
And again, let's see. Now the scoreboard still shows 1, but I'm pretty sure they
No,
called one
they
on the last
called
possession.
one earlier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 100%. He called it earlier on that. It was like 2nd down, I believe.
Right. It was.
And he called it.
Yeah, it was back on that last possession. I think we said it was about 4 minutes and change or 5 minutes and change remaining at that point.
So, assuming that De La Salle keeps it on the ground, 2:01 left. And they stop him. Hannan's going to get the ball with, about 1:15 or so on the clock. 1:10, 1:15, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And again,
with no timeouts.
Right, and again,
and
a field goal
decent
with
field
time.
position because they haven't punted. Neither team's punted very well tonight at all. We've had about 25-yard punts all night. So you're going to get it in some decent field position. And you're not getting a roll on this
Right.
soft, wet
No-
field
no
either.
doubt.
The ball's not rolling at all.
The Hannan faithful are in it. Now you got a little more of a bunch formation here.
And you have a back in the backfield, too. So
Collins will keep it himself.
And
He's
he's
bottled up at the line
Great
of
job.
scrimmage. And again, you're right. No timeouts there. So
let's see when they start the play clock.
It's 4th and 10 at the 35. Do you let this thing run all the way down here? They still haven't started the play clock.
I mean, what are you waiting on, man?
The ball has been in play. Now you're going to run it. It's going to run all the way down. You said about a minute 10. It's
10,
it started at 1:34, so
Yeah,
it's going to run all the way down to about
a long time
1:09.
to blow that whistle.
It's a big. Hannan's put. Do you not come after this year? You're trying to set up a return?
No, I think you get the return. You don't want because if you rough him, it's a first down.
Yep. Decent kick. It'll hit, roll,
Just plugs.
and
It just dies.
checked up like one of your 9-irons there, Lon, at about the 37-yard
So
line.
101.
It's about what you said, I think.
Yeah. I just the referee took a while to start that play clock, but I tell you, the little things that you see, and you just see how well coached these teams are. I just noticed when that ball stopped rolling, the De La Salle players, and they were coached this because you coach your kids. They stood around the ball and they all said, "Don't touch it." Make the
them
referee
blow
blow
it
the
dead.
whistle to
Just
stop
that
the
1
clock.
second.
Those 1 or 2 seconds might be the difference in the ball game.
Sure.
It just shows you how attentive to detail both of these coaching staffs are.
Well, both of these teams have had some close games this year. De La Salle, we mentioned this St. James game. The St. Charles Catholic game was a 2-point game as well. So there have been some tight games along the way. Hannan, several wins by single digits this year.
You're going to need some kind of big play if you're Hannan. You're not
Right.
going to be able to nickel
Play
and
action.
dime. You don't have enough time.
Pass is caught.
Come on, you got to get up and
Receivers
go.
down
Gotta
in the
get
field
up
to
and go.
play. It's going to be a gain of about 5. Clock continues to run. Again, we got 10ths of a second on the clock here, as you see on your screen. And pass is caught.
Get out of bounds.
He will run out of bounds. That's Millen on the catch, out of bounds at the De La Salle 49-yard line, and that'll stop the clock.
In Cavalier territory at the 49-yard line.
But again, you're going to need a big play because, you took 25 seconds, you ran two plays,
yep.
and you got about 15 yards of field, maybe close to 20. You gotta get a big play here. You gotta get a chunk. You hear that a lot. They're gonna have to get a chunk play right here, something 20 or so plus to have a chance.
They'll get 5 out in the route probably. De La Salle's going to rush 4 and drop 7 right here. Quick pass, and that is caught. Broke a tackle, 40, and
It's gonna
down.
be a first down, so the clock stops.
Yep. At the 39-yard
You want to clock it here. You want to clock it. Clock it.
They'll line up. Let's see. Maybe they will. Will they try to run a play? 27.8. You see it. Now they'll wind it. Pass is caught short of the first down.
Did he drop it? He dropped
the football.
Yeah, so
that's actually. I tell you what, that's a break.
That is. Now here's, you got 20 seconds left. You got 2nd and 10. You got to get past the stick right here. If you don't get past the stick, you risk not getting another playoff. So you got to get past the stick. And remember, you got a big receiver out there that you're going to be able to throw it up to on the last play of the game.
Yep. In Gode. And
Millen's
been the big
6'2",
play guy.
So
he's lined up at the bottom of the screen right now.
Have to get past the sticks here.
Having to scramble, now throws, caught. Needs to
get
get out of bounds. And I don't know if he got out or got the first down. Over on the far side there, the ball is down at about the 29-yard line.
Just under 12 seconds left, 11.9. You almost have to take 2 shots to the end zone right here because you're on the 30-yard line. You're gonna have to throw it up to the big man here. I mean, you can't risk. So he did get out of bounds.
Yes, he did.
Not running.
He did. You're right. Probably 2 plays left here. Taking a shot down this way. Pass is tipped and incomplete. Boy, that ball gets up in the air. You don't know what might happen there. So I think what we're basically down one
You're down
play.
to 1 play. Yeah, I mean.
2nd down and 10. The ball is at the De La Salle 29-yard line.
They threw that up to Millen. No, that wasn't Millen. That was That was Travers. That was Travers they threw it up to. You got a 6'2" receiver right there. I think you got to throw it up to him. I don't think you have much of a choice.
Are they lining up for the field goal? They're going to line the field goal here. This is going to be 46 yards for the tie.
That didn't even come into play to me.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't. Now De La Salle's going to call timeout here with 5.1.
It actually helped out Hannan because they were a little confused on who needed to be on the field and so forth. But, that's not.
Victor Harvey is the kicker. He's a senior.
And we got
and
those
it
stats
looks like,
on him,
it's going to look like about a 46, 47-yard field goal here. Let's see where they actually put it down. The ball's at the 29.
So you're going to be 46, 46 yards. Huh.
So this is what it comes down to right here with 5.1 remaining.
We're either going to overtime, which would be fabulous.
Now here's the other dynamic you got to keep in mind here, Lon. You mentioned everything that Hannan has up its sleeves. Do you go all out and rush this thing, or do you play safe right now? And you got to take a fake out of play right now.
46 yards. Again, I don't know the leg of this kicker. We don't have any stats on him, but 46 in high school, that's a long field goal. It really is, and there's not. I'm not saying he can't make it, but you don't see a whole lot of 46-yarders in high school. Bad field conditions, slippery, right hash. It's not perfect at all right here for this kick. But you know what? You got to try to tie the football.
That's Millen is the holder here.
Yeah, De La Salle's got 4 or 5 guys off the line.
Right. If you're Ryan Manelli, use another timeout here. I don't know. They are running a fake. Millen will throw into the end zone, and it is incomplete, and the game is over.
Wow.
I said you had to be ready for anything based on what we knew there.
And I thought Millen held it I thought if he would have thrown it a little bit sooner, he had the receiver. We can look at the replay. Thought he had him beat a little bit sooner. I thought he held the ball. And I think what happened was the kicker snuck out the backside on the wide side of the field. So I think he looked at that first and then tried to come back to the middle of the field. And by that time, the defender for De La Salle recovered and still almost made a great catch down in the end zone.
No doubt about it. So De La Salle survives this one 17-14 to head on to the Division II semifinals, where don't have a final, but they're going to have to make a trip back to Baton Rouge to face the same University High team they played in the Dome a year ago. And this was survival at the end, I know, but at the end we heard Jim Valvano talk about it back in 1983. It is all about survive and advance this time of year, however it happens. Your final thoughts on this one?
Great football game, 2 well-coached teams. It's a shame it's got to come down to that. One team's got to lose and is going home. But you learn from it. We always say in the playoffs, when you take a loss, especially one that's hard fought, you're going to learn from it. Both the seniors moving on in their future lives and the underclassmen moving on to continue as football players. Coach McNally's got, he's happy to win, but he knows he's got a tough one next week.
Sure.
And Coach Wadney, he's going to use this with his program and help move it forward. And again, accept the challenge anytime it comes, like he told me yesterday. So proud of both these guys. It was my pleasure coaching both of them when they were younger. It was a great ball game, great being here with you, and look forward to the rest of the playoff season.
Yeah, we'll have a game for you next Friday night. Don't know where, don't know when. Don't know who.
If
We
it's
will
good as
find out.
this one, I'm in.
Yeah, let's hope it is. Lon, thanks for all your assistance.
My pleasure.
Once again this evening. Our thanks to our producer, Chip Merritt. Our thanks to Matt Merritt with his magna cum laude from Photo College. We had to make mention of that here this evening. We will, of course, stay with Crescent City Sports. We'll have all the scores, all the recaps that you want from a great Friday night of football. If you're still playing like the De La Salle Cavaliers on Thanksgiving week,
yes, indeed,
it's a great time.
Love it.
Like our friend, rest his soul, Coach Rick Gailey used to say. We will be with you somewhere next Friday night. So once again, for Lon, for Chip, for Matt, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. Thanks for being with us tonight. Again, your final score: De La Salle 17, Archbishop Hannan 14. Until next week, so long, everybody.